BTPM's Friday Night Lights in partnership with Section 6 is presented by Villa Maria College, advancing educational opportunity for all of Western New York. Friday Night Lights is supported by our members and by the WNED Foundation Incorporated. Mr. Goodbar, your headquarters for watching away games on Elmwood Avenue. Denny's, America's Diner, is always open. Brighton Liquor and Wine, 930 Brighton Road in Tonawanda. And by SEI. More information at seic.com.
Welcome to Orchard Park, New York at Highmark Stadium, home of the Buffalo Bills for the 2025 Section 6 Class AA Football Championship. Hello, friends. Jack Kreuzer and Jim Monis with you on BTPM's Friday Night Lights. Tonight, the third seed in Class AA, the Jamestown Red and Green, take on the top-seeded Bennett Tigers.
Oh, yeah, and this is a rivalry. They've played already this year. It's always hard to beat a team twice, so let's see how they respond.
It was a Bennett win back in Week 5, 14-7. The Bennett Tigers beat the Jamestown Red and Green in a close one. Bennett has only lost one game this season. So this is the final year of 46 years of sectional championship history at Highmark Stadium, dating back to 1979. This stadium has been a staple.
Well, I remember we were playing a very good Springville team. Mickey Nugent was our coach, and he's a heck of a coach. You know, we knew we were going to have our hands full, but it's funny, he asked this question. We had a little running back wide receiver named Dan Monticelli. Dan was quite a player. He scored 140-some points that year. He was a New York State small school player of the year, and we were down 13-7 with a minute or so to go in the game, and we were around about midfield. I called timeout, and Dan, the little Italian guy, says, get in the huddle. Then he said, "Coach, I can beat this guy deep." I said, "You can beat him deep?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, you got the talking part done." So sure enough, he beats the guy deep, makes it one-handed catch, scores, kicks the extra point, and we win 13-12, and it was a throwing day for the kids, and some I'll probably take to my grave with me.
The last game in 2010, that was a head coach, I think was the most memorable from the standpoint that with 5 seconds to go in the game, we had the ball on Orchard Park's 20-yard line, and we had to decide whether we were going to go for it or kick a field goal. And I turned to the sideline and asked our kicker, who had never kicked a field goal. He had kicked a lot of extra points. I said, "Can you make a 37-yard field goal?" Because obviously 20, 10, and then plus a 7. And he goes, "Yeah, I can make that." So I said, "Go make it." Well, we go out on the field, and then Orchard Park calls a timeout. So I'm walking out, and all the guys upstairs are going, "Coach, you have one of the best quarterback in Western New York. You have a great receiver. Let's just throw it up." And we got a better chance of doing that than making a field goal, because the goalposts are narrow, of course. And they said, "Then if we don't, we go in overtime." So I walk into the huddle, and I looked at the young man. His name was Steve. And I go, "Steve, you can make this kick, right?" And he looked me right straight in the eye. I said, "Hell yes, Coach, I can make this kick." And I said, "We'll do it." And I walked off the field, and the guys are saying, "Are you sure?" I said, "Hey." And he kicked it right down the middle. So, that's something that you'll never forget, and I'm sure he'll never forget. And we won the game.
Dick Domenico and Tom Goddard, two legendary coaches in Section 6 football, both won a title here in 1979, the first year of sectional championship games at the home of the Buffalo Bills. Our Remembering the Ralph segment, brought to you by Rigidized Metals Corporation, will be continuing throughout the Villa Maria College pregame show. Three coaches last night joined Tom Goddard and Dick Domenico as sectional champions, as there were three sectional title games last night here at Highmark Stadium. We start with our recap of the Class D championship that saw the Newfane Panthers and the Wilson Lakemen battle in their rivalry game for the sectional supremacy in Class D. It was Newfane who jumped off to an early lead. Their star quarterback, Matt Capon, had a burden on him, but Jim Wilson did a good job on him defensively. It relied on the wide receivers and running backs for Newfane to get the job done. They had a one-score lead at halftime.
But when they needed Capon the most in the fourth quarter, he was there for them. And we saw them early in the year and knew Capon was capable of taking this team to this level
Brock Lepsch of Wilson scored to make it a one-score game before the end of the first half. The running game of Wilson was consistent and dominant up the middle as they tied it at 20 with 4 minutes left in the game. Then Matt Capon took over with just under a minute to go. The MVP from Class D led Newfane into the end zone for a 26-20 lead. He would score the two-point conversion as well. Wilson had one final attempt to respond as they marched down, but the primary rushing attack of the Lakemen was forced a turnover on downs after this incomplete pass. A kneel down for Capon and company, 28-20. Newfane the win over Wilson for the Class D championship. Head coach Chuck Nagel is a Newfane High School alum. He got to lift the first sectional championship trophy in program history and had this to say post-game after the win.
It took every ounce, every second, every player on our squad, and eventually Matt Capon and company got the job done. Well, it's 2020. I said, you know what? We're gonna get the ball. We're gonna get the ball to the hot hand. Our running backs, hopefully they hit something big. And then in the end, man, in Mac we trust, and in Mac we won.
In Class C, Jake Burkholder looked for his second title, while Ty Harper was looking for his third straight in his first year at Chautauqua Lake after moving over from Clymer Sherman, Panama. It was a battle of physicality as the Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton Eagles kept moving piles forward throughout the night. They were physically dominated by Southwestern Frewsburg, 45-0 in the regular season. Some key injuries to Southwestern Frewsburg stars allowed Chautauqua Lake to silence the crowd as the number one seeded Southwestern Frewsburg Trojan Bears couldn't get anything going offensively. Trent Lewis tried to force a pass towards the end of the first half, intercepted. Chautauqua Lake had plenty of burst moments, and the first one to celebrate the defensive player, head coach Ty Harper. What an energizer on the sideline.
Yeah, and anytime you can pull off an upset or a big win like that and control Trent Lewis, who we know his style of play, big-time effort all around by that team to get that win.
A sack to end the first half, set up a couple big pass plays for Braden Gibbs and company for Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton. Devin Hughes, Nick Jacobson, terrific players out wide. And then Tristan Gibbs, a touchdown on the ground for Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton. Had Ty Harper fired up, his team went on to win 21-0, the first program sectional title since combining with Westfield and Brockton. Ty Harper, 3 straight sectional champs. This one meant a little more to him with Chautauqua Lake.
It generally comes down to who wins at the line of scrimmage. We challenged our guys from that time back in October. They totally dominated us at the line of scrimmage. Tonight we took it upon ourselves. We wanted to come out, play physical football. These kids have gotten so much better over the course of the last 5-6 weeks. That's why we won the game. Offensive and defensive line dominated. Defense did an outstanding job playing assignment football, and the playmakers made plays, man. It's all kids. When you win games like this, man, it's all kids.
The nightcap last night was Health Sciences led by Kai Von Pitts against McKinley and Cardell Staples. The battle in Class A began with a close call. Cologne Ford to Cardell Staples. The toe tap on the sideline just got in. A quick 8-0 lead for McKinley, and their defense brought the boom as well. It's hard to stop Pitts and Kevin Guy. McKinley did it last night.
No, very few times do we jaw drop or shocked by results in football. This one did shock to think you could slow down that tandem at Health Sciences. A big-time effort by McKinley.
One play, Kai Von Pitts made it a one-score game with a 50-yard rushing touchdown for Health Sciences, Buffalo Academy Science and Global, all three combined. But again, Ford airing it out, and McKinley made jump ball plays all night. How about this one on BTPM PBS with Cardell Staples making the grab over a defender in the end zone. 38-14. McKinley upsets the previously unbeaten Falcons to win their first title in program history. This one was over before the fourth quarter hit zeros. They had a couple extra rushing scores to cap it. A big win for the McKinley Macs and seventh-year head coach Brian Davis.
It feels great to finally get over the hump. We knew Health Science was going to be definitely a tough challenge. We still had a sour taste in our mouth from week 5, and we had that chip on our shoulder, and we literally carried it for the end of the season all the way into the playoffs. And we were hungry. We wanted it tonight. That's just simple as that. We wanted it tonight.
3 sectional champs last night, 1 crowned already today. We'll tell you about that in just a minute. We've got 1 more sectional champion to be named this evening as the Jamestown Red and Green take on the Bennett Tigers in the Class AA Championship. We'll have more of our pregame show presented by Villa Maria College after this.
Visit Villa Maria College and discover what it means to be a Viking. Come see the energy, teamwork, and pride that makes the Villa Vikings unstoppable. Schedule your tour at visit.villa.edu.
I'm Sarah Jane, and I'm on a mission to explore the wonders right in our own backyard with Compact Science, a YouTube series from BTPM PBS and the Buffalo Museum of Science. Together, we'll explore the physics of grain elevators, discover how Niagara Falls powers millions of homes, and learn how wings are science on a plate. If you're curious about the world around you, there's a lot to explore, and Compact Science will be your guide. Find us on the Buffalo Toronto Public Media YouTube channel.
At PBS Kids, we're working hard to bring you all your favorite shows anytime you want.
Watch on Spectrum 1276, FiOS 473, or 17.3.
Welcome back to Highmark Stadium for the Villa Maria College pregame show. Jack Kreuzer and Jim Monis with you. The Jamestown Red and Green, Jim, they might be the happiest 7-3 team in Western New York because they punched their ticket for the 2nd straight season to Highmark Stadium.
No question, and 7-3 means you went through your roller coaster ride. This wasn't an 8-2 season. You had to go through some tough times and battle through injuries, but they know who they are. They know what's going on tonight with a young quarterback, and we know what they're going to get with an experienced coach.
We saw them on Friday Night Lights in Week 3 when they had a miraculous comeback, down 2 scores in the final 2 minutes of the game to defeat Lancaster 33-26 in Week 3. They then spiraled a little bit with a loss at Orchard Park the following week, and then the Week 5 meeting with Bennett, a 14-7 loss at home. Since then, though, Jim, 5 straight wins for the Jamestown Red and Green, including an avenge win last week, 18-13. They knocked off Orchard Park in the semifinals. A key reason why the Jamestown Red and Green were able to defeat Orchard Park last week, a record-setting performance from spotlight player Chase Bonta, who had a record for Jamestown, 43 carries, number 41 in red, certainly our key spotlight tonight.
Yeah, the only word that comes to mind, he's a bruising back for Chase Bonta. He's going to get anywhere between 20 to 40 carries. We don't know how many carries he's going to get, but we know his endurance to play both ways, linebacker and running back. He can stay on the field and be dominant on both sides of the ball with his endurance and toughness. He's going to grind it out. You're going to have to find a way to get the ball out of his hands and make other guys beat you if you can.
Chase Bonta had all 3 Jamestown touchdowns in the semifinal against Orchard Park. What's more impressive is he had more than 10 tackles defensively as their key middle linebacker as well. He's on special teams. How can anybody slow Chase Bonta down?
Well, you can by getting him and run wide and use your speed and get him tired in space and try to expose him maybe in the pass game as well. And Bennett has the players to do that, but whether Valentine, Hampton, expose him in space.
But when Bonta is taken out, we see the freshman running back, Alaric Richards, who was tremendous against Lancaster in that reserve role in Week 3. He had some big plays on the ground. What stood out to you about the freshman Richards?
His change of pace, his straight line style is able to maybe get down to the secondary, get to that second level a little quicker maybe than Bonta can. He's not going to bang out like Bonta does those tough runs.
Defensively, Richards had the key fumble recovery to set up the comeback for Jamestown in the 4th quarter against Lancaster back in Week 3. That was a long 6 weeks ago, though. Now, our 3rd spotlight player for Jamestown is the wide receiver and return man, Jericho Thagard.
And Thagard is a difference maker. Do you just punt the ball to him or not? That's something you have to decide, and we know what he's done for Jamestown this year, especially at the end of the game we called. But a difference maker down the field as well, and you want to be able to stretch the field with Thagard, especially with Bonta's style. It's a nice little combo switch up.
Thagard averaging 20 yards per catch through this season, but he's been in a limited role in the last few weeks. more so effective in the return game, as our viewers on BTPM PBS watched the return he had against Lancaster back in week 3. Tom Langworthy had this to say about his team heading into the championship.
I'm really proud of our guys for our resiliency. I think we've got a great group of guys. They come ready to practice, and they practice hard every day. Our coaches are always prepared. We have a great group of assistant coaches that are so incredibly professional and organized that we use our time wisely. And I think that's really why you see the growth that we've had. And that's what I'm really proud of as a coach, you know, that you can see your kids get better. And then sometimes that doesn't result in wins. In this case, it has. So for us to punch our ticket to the stadium, to be able to compete for a sectional title, it's really rewarding for me as a coach.
Tom Langworthy, among the many coaches to have gone on to win a state championship in his coaching career. From the 1990s to the 2000s, Maple Grove and Sweet Home were constant representatives at the Ralph. Maple Grove head coach Kurt Fisher and Sweet Home quarterback Casey Kaz talked about their experiences at this stadium, winning Section 6 championships in Orchard Park.
Undescribable. I mean, that was my goal. First time that I took over the program at Maple Grove was to let those kids experience that. I mean, I went there as an assistant coach with Faulkner when I coached there as a kid, when I first started as a JV, junior high, and then JV coach. And that was actually at the time when the field had when you looked across the field, all you could see is the heads of the other players, if you could even see that, because the crown was so high with the fake turf. It was like basically some carpet put on top of cement. But when we went, that was the number one goal, to let the kids experience that, because it's when you see those kids and you look in their eyes when they're first getting in the locker room, and then, but especially walking down that tunnel, it's irreplaceable for a coach to see that, the emotion in the kids.
Yeah, it felt drastically different. It was, who do we play? I think we played Iroquois. I think we got our revenge. We played Iroquois. Got a little bit of revenge from a couple years prior, but they had some studs. You remember like Brandon Murray, the running back, who ended up going to like UB, Mooch Chesanowski. They had a couple really good players, but just walking out of the tunnel, I was one of those guys, you know, where some guys like to go last. I like to go first. I want to go out, lead the charge sort of a thing. And walking out, and even though there's maybe 3,000 people there for whatever it is, it feels like the stadium's packed when they start cheering for you. So you can imagine when the Bills play, but 3,000 people can get loud on like a fall Friday night there, and yeah, dude, it's just, there's something about it. Like you feel like you're in the NFL, right? You feel like you're Josh Allen, or at the time you feel like whoever our quarterback was.
Support for Friday Night Lights comes from our members and from SEI. SEI proudly supports the WNED Foundation, connecting communities through the Friday Night Lights tradition. More information at SEIC.com.
One of my favorite days is Election Day. It's our civic duty to cast a ballot. People fought and died so we could vote. Yet nearly 60 years after the Voting Rights Act, there are still efforts to strip Americans of that right. Let's dig into that. Hey people, Corey here with Compact Civics. Federal law mandates accessible polling places for all those living with disabilities. In New York, any voter who seeks assistance is fully entitled to receive it. About 4 million people living in U.S. territories, Guam, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, are all U.S. citizens, but they can't vote in presidential elections. 11 states disenfranchise those convicted of felonies. Even accusations of misdemeanors can keep you from voting. In many states, individuals in jail, even if it's only because they can't post bail, cannot vote during elections. In a democracy, all citizens' voices should be heard. And that means casting and counting their votes as well.
Support for Buffalo Toronto Public Media's Friday Night Lights comes from our members and from Mr. Goodbar, your Elmwood Avenue home for football and more food, beverage, and atmosphere. At 1110 Elmwood Avenue in Buffalo, Mr. Goodbar, home of DJ Crespo's away game viewing parties.
Welcome back to the Villa Maria College post-game show. New York's home for cutting-edge majors and unmatched support. The Bennett Tigers are the #1 seed in Class AA ahead of the championship game. They'll take on the Jamestown Red and Green in just about 10 minutes. The Bennett Tigers, they've only lost one game this season. It was week 2 out of state at Massillon, Washington of Ohio. A 35-0 loss. Since then, nothing but W's on the board. And Jim, they were impressive last week in their win over over Lancaster, 52-13 in the semifinal.
Pure toughness is what we talk about with this squad. They're going to come at you downhill with their running backs. And can Barnes be a difference maker? A quarterback is kind of what sets them apart.
Jimmy Valentine was the first man who jumped off the screen last week. He was terrific. 19 touchdowns on the season for the 5'10", 185-pound bowling ball at running back.
Yeah, he has a nice combo of his ability, his footwork in the hole in short spaces. He can make people miss. He's got the strength to run through arm tackles. He's got good speed. He's a game breaker. He finishes in the end zone. Just a natural instinctive running back, which you can't put a value on instincts and vision for a running back. And he has that natural feel that jumps out.
Valentine spent 1 year at St. Francis in his high school career. He fell in the semifinal last season with the Bennett Tigers in their loss to Jamestown as the 1 seed. This year, he's looking to win his first ever game at Highmark Stadium and his first sectional championship. A lot on his shoulders, but he's got a few guys he can lean on throughout the course of the night. Jimmy Valentine is spotlight player number 1, but his backup at running back, junior Dontre Hampton. Oh, you want to talk explosive. Hampton had 4 touchdowns last week in the semifinal.
Yeah, Hampton was a guy we knew about Valentine, but Hampton caught us by surprise as far as his value to this team. That combination is lethal. Both styles are different. Hampton has that straight line home run hitting ability. He's averaging almost 12 yards, 11.3 a carry. That's like receiving type stats. He's getting the ball, he's getting first downs. He has 8 touchdowns on only 66 carries.
Hampton, terrific last week, but back in week 5 against Jamestown, just 38 rushing yards, no scores. Perhaps he could be the difference for the Bennett Tigers in their second meeting with the Jamestown Red and Green tonight. But our third spotlight player for the Bennett Tigers this evening, who could forget the man out wide, Jack Eskridge.
Yeah, Eskridge, I know one team that can't forget him is going to be Jamestown tonight because he is a pure touchdown maker, speed all over the field. If he's in the return game, on a sweep, on deep threats, he's a difference maker.
Eskridge averaging 16 yards a catch, 11 yards a run. Whenever he touches the ball, big play ability.
Yeah, and we get excited in the booth when he touches it or is on the field. That's one of those, hey, let's see what happens. You know Jamestown's concerned.
They've got a senior quarterback making his second start tonight. Here's Coach McDuffie on Carl Barnes.
He's a senior, you know. I believe he has that poise with him, and he's savvy, and you know, it's nothing like having a senior, and he's a multiple sport athlete, and he's a leader, and the rest of the kids seem to roll to his tune a little bit better. So I think, you know, having a senior there definitely helped us last week against Lancaster. And the way he practiced phenomenal. So I think with him doing all of those things the right way, he deserved it to start 9. And I think he proved how good he can be and how much he can be a passing threat and help us. And that's what we need right now.
Remembering the Ralph, 46 years of history at this Highmark Stadium is presented by Rigid Eyes Metals Corporation. Since 2010, there have been a couple programs to be regular guests here, including former Cheektowaga head coach Mike Fatta and former CSP and current Chautauqua Lake head coach Ty Harper. They share how they found a way to get here year after year after year.
Yeah, it never felt like that. It never felt like it was getting old. There was an expectation, I think, after a while. And the kids, even though they weren't, they felt as if they failed if they didn't get there. It was a reminder always that it's not easy to get to that championship in any sport, and those things are earned. And it was a bumpy road a lot of times, but you know, for that stretch there, the kids always stepped up. And I think the expectation that was the standard helped that snowball and helped us get there every year.
This place is always going to be so special to me. You know, some of my earliest childhood memories, some of my core memories when I was a little kid was watching the Bills on TV with my parents. You know, I remember being 4 or 5 years old and the games would always be on. To be here, it's an incredible thing for the Bills to allow, you know, our players and players from all over the section to come here. I think it's a really great idea, especially in the last year of this stadium.
Listen to BTPM NPR wherever you are on the BTPM Listen app. Find it in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves, back with a whole new season of Rick Steves Europe. This is London, and that's just a start.
Travel the world. Taste something new. Make it beautiful. Discover your passion. Watch it all on BTPM Create.
Listen to BTPM Classical wherever you are on the BTPM Listen app. Find it in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.
Support for Buffalo Toronto Public Media's Friday Night Lights comes from our members and from your local Denny's. America's Diner is always open. Denny's salutes Section 6 student athletes, serving you with 18 locations throughout the region.
Final segment of the Villa Maria College pregame show. Villa Maria College, New York's home for cutting-edge majors and unmatched support. Jack Kreuzer and Jim Monis with you for the Class AA Championship. The Bennett Tigers take on the Jamestown Red and Green in the final game at Highmark Stadium in Section 6 history. Let's get to our team objectives. First, for the visitors on the scoreboard, the third-seeded Jamestown Red and Green. Your key number one, Jim, make Carl Barnes throw.
Right, we talked about it. He has 11 attempts on the year, so it's not something he's really familiar with, so put him in an uncomfortable situation.
Objective number two for Jamestown, protect Jackson Gray.
Young quarterback, got to keep him safe and let the run game flourish.
Number three, take your shot.
Got to stretch the defense with your weapon. Thagger can do it.
Jamestown seeks to avenge their 14-7 loss back in Week 5 to the Bennett Tigers. On the other side of the field, in their orange uniforms, the Bennett Tigers have had an unblemished record against Section 6 opponents this season. The objectives for the Tigers, number one, pass rushers, hunt.
I say that because they get off the ball. Nasir Johnson can cause problems when they are in pass situations.
The second key for Bennett, get Eskridge involved.
You have to get the playmaker involved so the other team is aware and scared of him.
Third key for Bennett, be careful punting.
You know who can take it the distance, so if there's a chance to go for it, make sure you exhaust every option before you punt the ball.
Is there an objective, Jim, that is more difficult than the others for either team?
Yeah, making Barnes throw is going to be pretty tough. This running game is real for Bennett.
We will step aside, and when we return, kickoff from Highmark Stadium for the Class AA Championship game. We'll be back in just a moment.
Reading Rainbow ignited a love of reading in you as a kid. Relive those days with Reading Rainbow branded apparel. Order by Sunday, November 30th, and they will ship in early January. Visit readingrainbow.org to order today.
Support for BTPM comes from our members and from Rigidized Metals Corporation. Rigidized Metals proudly supports its customers, the community, engineers, designers, and architects across the world.
Visit Villa Maria College and discover what it means to be a Viking. Come see the energy, teamwork, and pride that makes the Villa Vikings unstoppable. Schedule your tour at visit.villa.edu.
This is Matt Caden from New Fame. You're listening to Friday Night Lights on BTPM, NPR, WBFO, and WBFO HD1 Buffalo, WUBJ Jamestown, WOLN Olean, for service of Buffalo Toronto Public Media.
Highmark Stadium for Jamestown and Bennett, the Class AA Sectional Championship kickoff just after this. For some of them, could be for their football careers. At the 35-yard line, under 2 minutes to go in the first. Bennett's quite sure who their pool of players are that could lead them to the sectional championship. 4 ticks of the clock remain. Fake of the give. Barnes airs it out, middle of the field for Eskridge, and he makes the grab across the 50. own 24. Fake it again. Bonta swing pass left side. Sanchez. He has a lane to the 40. Can't handle the high snap off his mask. The ball's free and scooped up by Jamestown. Lou Diaz down the sideline. Welcome to Highmark Stadium. Two powerhouses in Section 6 high school football clash. One final time at the home of the Buffalo Bills for the 2025 Class AA Championship. The Jamestown Red and Green take on the Bennett Tigers for the title on Buffalo Toronto Public Media's Friday Night Lights. Jack Kreuzer and Jim Monis with you inside the Villa Maria College broadcast booth. These two teams met in Week 5. Jamestown pulled away for a 14-7 win on the road, but Jim, that was a long time ago.
A long time ago, and you throw those games out in any type of, when you're playing in a division, I call it division rivalries, you see somebody familiar 2 times a year. It's like the Bills, Jets, Bills, Miami. It's hard to beat a team twice, and you remember that last game, and you're always going to focus on it. What did we do wrong? What can we do better? And in a close game like that, it's small things. So we'll see how both teams come out. We know their strengths. They both know their strengths. So there's no secrets.
No secrets at all tonight. Glad you could make us a part of your Friday night in mid-November. The temperature, a perfect 41 degrees at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. Football weather, as they say.
I would agree, Jack. It is perfect 41. That's my new attitude this year. Every day, this time of year, weather-wise, is perfect. Don't worry about the temperature.
As long as the snow doesn't come around tonight, which we had earlier this week for Media Day. The players had a great time throwing snowballs out on the field. One of the best traditions of having the sectional championship here at the home of the Bills year after year was having the representatives from all 5 sectional championship games meet together one final time before battling out on the gridiron. That was on Tuesday. 4 of 5 sectional champions have been crowned. This, the final one for 2025, and the final at the home of the Buffalo Bills. The captains meet at midfield for the coin toss. Chase Bonta, our main spotlight player for Jamestown. On the flip side, the Bennett Tigers, Jimmy Valentine, both key spotlight players out there for the coin toss. Referee tonight is Scott Fish at midfield. How important, Jim, is winning the coin toss in a championship game?
I think the coin toss is always important. Coaches have their strategies, but I think it's more important to see how the game flows. And I always call it that breaking serve in a tennis match. Who's going to be that first team that stops each other, gets the punt, gets the turnover? That's really when the game changes. And then the coin flip effects for the second half coming out, who's getting the ball.
The Jamestown Red and Green have won the coin toss. They will receive the opening kick. For two teams that love to run the ball, Jim, the Jamestown Red and Green have a chance to kill as much clock as they can upon getting the ball first.
Or they could first play, go deep to Thagard. Why not send a message right off the bat? Let's test the speed demon. 20 yards a catch, something different. At least puts it in the head then for Bennett the whole game. Hey, they're not afraid to take their chance. It's a long game. I like to be different sometimes.
The Bennett Tigers in their home orange uniforms, tops and bottoms, beneath the navy blue helmets for those listening on BTPM NPR. Thanks for joining us wherever you may be, or on BTPM's YouTube channel and BTPM PBS for the first time this season. Thanks for being with us tonight. Jack Kreuzer and Jim Monis to lead you through the final game at the high school level at the home of the Buffalo Bills, Highmark Stadium. Glad you could be with us. Carl Barnes is the do-it-all player for Bennett. He will kick off. Jericho Thagard deep to receive for the Jamestown Red and Green, along with Jada Foreman. Barnes with a squib kick to the near side. It's handled by Nate Sanchez. Across the field to the far hashes. He turns up at the 35, gets hit at the 40, tries to bring bodies with him toward midfield left to right. And Nate Sanchez gets Jamestown to start with the football at their own 41-yard line.
Yeah, not much more you could ask for field position-wise if you're Jamestown. Beautiful way to start the game, nice and controlled midfield. Now, like I said, you could take your shot if you're having fun, but I'm sure they're going to come out and do what they do.
Sophomore quarterback Jackson Gray begins in shotgun in the all-white uniforms for Jamestown. Red and green trim, of course. In motion across the formation is the freshman Alaric Richards. Gray pump fakes, tucks it near side, still has the option to throw. He gets hammered behind the line of scrimmage. Nairi Feaster, Jimmy Valentine, and Jason Hargrove all in on the stop. Valentine leads the charge.
Valentine, textbook tackle. That was a hit. That's stopping the runner right away on contact, putting him down. He ran through him. That was textbook Valentine, not just a running back, tough player, linebacker as well.
Feaster blew up the block of Alaric Richards as well. A loss of 3 to set up 2nd and 13. Handoff, Chase Bonta, right side, lowers the shoulder and gets a couple yards back. 3rd down and 11 for Jamestown.
And Jimmy Valentine again on defense makes the first hit and the tackle. That's 2 solo tackles for their #1 ball carrier. We have 2 running backs in this game, Bonta and Valentine, who show up on both sides of the ball. What a value to have types of leaders like that. But here we go with 3rd and long.
3rd down and 11 from their own 40-yard line. Gray hands it off Bonta, left side. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage. Again, Bennett's defense all over. Number 41 in white. A gain of 2 to set up 4th and 9.
Interesting, shows a little bit of confidence or lack of confidence in your quarterback maybe early on a 3rd and long to come out and run kind of a dive on 3rd and long. I don't want to call it a give-up play because I know they run the ball well. But maybe get the young kid, let him throw one, get loose.
Lined up in punt formation. Thagard boots it high in the air, fielded by Eskridge at the 34, dances across the 40, turns to the near side, and he's got a convoy. Jack Eskridge down the near side with Bonta to beat. Home free. Jack Eskridge, touchdown, Bennett. The first touch of the football for Bennett goes for 6.
And just like we talked about with Eskridge, get him touches as many times as you can as a returner, running back, receiver. He's Tyreek Hill-like with his impact for Bennett. There is nobody on the field, maybe Thagard, that could catch him. Eskridge is a difference maker. He reverses field, outruns everybody. Jamestown went hard to make the gang tackle on a punt return. You never want to have everybody at the same level like that. They tried to make the play right away. Once he reversed field, he outran everybody. They had nobody deep to catch him. Eskridge playmaker.
Bennett lines up to go for 2 as they are wont to do. Handoff Valentine. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. The Jamestown defensive line, led by Eli DeLeon, makes the stop on the 2-point play. 6-0. Bennett the lead. 9:59 to go in the opening quarter.
You know, we're not surprised after watching him last week. It's shocking that, honestly, we talked about this, how he doesn't have more kind of production numbers. And I guess it's just their style of offense to have 30 catches and 3 touchdowns as a receiver, 2 touchdowns as a running back. That's 5 total touchdowns for a player that maybe on a different team, he has 15 touchdowns. I don't know how you control that, how you keep a guy with that type of speed in high school out of the end zone.
Carl Barnes lines up for the Denny's kickoff at his own 40-yard line. He tees it up for the Bennett Tigers. Denny's, America's Diner, is always open. 6-0 Bennett, your score over Jamestown. Score brought to you by Mr. Goodbar, your home for away games on Elmwood Avenue. Carl Barnes to kick with Thagard and Foreman deep to receive for Jamestown. Again, directional kick. Nate Sanchez fields it at the 31. Sanchez gets a block at the 35. He is hit from behind and pulled down. The Bennett special teams unit, led by Sharon Young, makes the play. Minimal gain, if any, on the return for Jamestown, who start their second drive of offense. 1st and 10 at their own 36. The sophomore quarterback Jackson Gray must be feeling a world of nerves right now.
Exactly, Jack, and that's why you want to get him a pass to get that out of his system, one way or the other. Just let him rip one.
9:53 to go in the opening quarter. Handoff Bonta, left side, he breaks free. Second level, he bowls over defender at midfield and has a 1st down for Jamestown. A pickup of 16 on the ground, and Jamestown flips fields.
Right on cue, Bennettt, they need a good drive. Runs through the arm tackle of safety Akari Brown, who made a lot of plays last week for Bennett. Nice run by Bennettt.
Chase Bonta, averaging 6 yards a rush, picks up first down on the ground on the first play. 1st and 10 at the 47 of Bennett. Bonta gets the give on the left side. He dives ahead for a couple yards. 2nd and 8.
Yeah, back into their Bonta rhythm right now. They're going to let him make sure he gets his touches. But at some point, there's going to be we know Bonta's getting the ball. Who else was going to step up right now? Who can raise their game to help Jamestown answer?
All-time, Bennett 4-2 against Jamestown under head coach Steve McDuffie in his 15th season. 2nd down and 8. Handoff Bonta, right side. He runs right into the defensive line of Bennett. Some extra hand fighting after the play. Broken up quite quickly. This defensive line of Bennett moving quite well, and the inside linebacker Jason Hargrove in there for the tackle as well.
Yeah, we're in second possession. We have another 3rd and long. Let's see if Gray gets a rip one down the field.
3rd and 8. 2 receivers on each side. Richards in motion right to left. Gray looks to his right. His head coach Tom Langworthy relays the signal. Gray with the hand warmer on his back hip. Handoff Bonta for 3rd and 8. Right into the line. He goes nowhere. Chase Bonta gets swallowed up by Amos Lutet. The senior D tackle makes the stop, a gain of just 1 for Bonta, and it's 4th and 7.
Once again, 3rd and long, no pass attempt. So we still haven't seen him have the confidence to let Gray throw the ball down the field. So we have 4th and long. Looks like they're going to go for it, but at some point you got to let Gray test it.
4th and 7 at the 44 of Bennett. Jamestown working left to right. Jackson Gray in the gun. Hard count, nothing doing. Now peeks to his right, as all Jamestown players do. The line remains still. 4th and 7. Gray backs away again, and a timeout called by the Jamestown Red and Green with 7:38 to go in the opening quarter. Jim, that's like in golf when you're on the tee box and you step away once. When you step away a second time, yeah, that's a good time for a timeout.
Yeah, because usually when you step away, it's almost like in basketball. If you don't shoot in rhythm or hit your usual rhythm, it's going to be a bad shot. So something wasn't off, the rhythm was off. Let's call a timeout. Big play here as far as 4th down, midfield. If you don't get this, you're holding your breath, because now you got to keep Bennett out, going up 2 scores on you.
Of all the teams in Class AA, Jamestown seems to play Bennett the best. While they've lost 4 of their last 5 meetings against Jamestown, 3 of those games were 1-score contests, including earlier this season, a 14-7 win for Bennett at Jamestown in Week 5. Sophomore quarterback Jackson Gray has developed so much since Week 5. But after the timeout, Jamestown looks to punt. 4th and 7 at the Bennett 44. Thagard stands at his own 42 to punt it away. High snap handles it, gets the punt away just in time before it could be blocked by Valentine and company. Eskridge lets it roll all the way inside the 10-yard line, down at the 8. A wonderful punt for Jericho Thagard, and Jamestown pins Bennett inside their own 10-yard line. 7:25 to go in the opening quarter. 6-0 Bennett, the lead. This, their first offensive possession of the night. The senior quarterback Carl Barnes makes just his 2nd start after having a darn good performance in the semifinal against Lancaster last week, where he went 8 of 10 passing for 117 yards.
I almost don't even think of him as a quarterback. He kicks off, he plays safety, he gets interceptions, he makes tackles, and he's their leader on offense.
1st and 10 at their own 8-yard line for Bennett. And a flag flies at the snap, as it looked to be a rush to the right for Valentine. A false start against Bennett will back them up 5 more. Referee of tonight's crew, Scott Fish, will be relaying the infractions. This a mixed crew between Chautauqua-based officials and Erie County-based officials for an even match officiated. No bias on the field between Jamestown or Bennett, set up that way by Section 6 officiating. 6-0 the lead for Bennett. 1st and 15 from their own 5-yard line. Hand off to Valentine. Gets through the line of scrimmage. Falls ahead as he was hit down low by Drew Bloomquist. Angel Martinez, the corner, in on the tackle as well. A pickup of 4 to set up 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, and that's what you expect first down. That's a good first play for Bennett. Little counter type action, pulling guard, tackle.
Jimmy Valentine had a great performance against Jamestown earlier this season. Over 170 yards on the ground in that one. A pitch on 2nd and 11 to Dontre Hampton. Far side, he has the crease. Turns up at the 20. He gets taken down by the knees by Alaric Richards at the 22-yard line. A pickup of 13 on the ground for Dontre Hampton and a 1st down for Bennett.
Jimmy Valentine owes his friend Nairi Feaster a soda next time they go out for that block on the toss. That's what you want from your fullback / linebacker. Feaster doing a nice job of sealing the edge. Valentine getting the corner and getting the big play.
1st down and 10 for Bennett at their own 22. Tight formation. Barnes hands it off to the right side. Valentine swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. Lou Diaz along with Isaiah Watson in the backfield for the stop for the Jamestown defense.
That was Diaz. He triggered well, wrapped up, which you want to see all tackles wrap up against good backs like that. Diaz, we know he might only be 170 pounds at middle linebacker. He plays bigger than that. We know how tough he is. We know his ability to make the big plays. That was huge to put them in a 2nd and long.
The 11th tackle for loss this season for Lou Diaz, the linebacker for Jamestown. That's 2nd best on the team. 2nd down and 11 for Bennett. Across the formation, a sweep. Eskridge runs into his own left tackle, then turns back to the right, and a broken play. Eskridge takes it for 5 yards up the far sideline, bumped out by Thagard at the 26-yard line. Almost again there, Jim. A broken play. Eskridge goes the other way, and like the punt return touchdown he had earlier, he's got magic when he goes the opposite direction.
So it's a timing type handoff on that sweep, trying to time it up with the motion. It got a little shaky, which can be scary for putting the ball on the ground, but Eskridge does his best with his athleticism and speed to make something out of nothing.
3rd down and 6 from their own 26-yard line. Bennett snap in shotgun. Barnes throws it near side. It's caught at the 30-yard line by Tyjon Johnson. That is well short of the yard to gain. 4th down and 3 for the Bennett offense at their own 29.
Yeah, Drew Bloomquist did a nice job at linebacker, getting over there and making, the throws a little off, but he was there to make the tackle on the catch anyway, so it was going to be a 4th and short. Nice job by Jamestown being disciplined on that.
Drew Bloomquist, sophomore for Jamestown, follows in the steps of his brother Cole and his dad, who is a member of the 1993 historic team that won here at the Ralph. 4th down and 3. Bennett lined up to punt with Barnes standing at his own 20. It's a good boot for Barnes. Thagard high points it at his own 40, takes off, turns to his right, breaks one tackle at the 50, gets to the 40 and turns upfield to the 30, grabbed from behind at the collar by Valentine and out of bounds at the 29-yard line. A return of nearly 30 yards for Jericho Thagard, and it speaks to your objectives, Jim. Number 3 objective for Bennett, be careful punting.
Should have said it for both teams. Both these returners are difference makers. On a line drive punt like that, that is the scariest type of punt. There was no hang time. Thagard could catch it almost on the move. Worthless punting on that one.
4:37 to go in the opening quarter. Jamestown with great field position at the Bennett 29, trailing 6-0. It's a handoff for Bonta on 1st down. He plunges into the offensive line, keeps his legs moving as he's wrapped up by 2 Bennett D linemen and gains about 3 yards.
You want to talk about Bonta's strength. He just ran right. He and Jason Hargrove had a nice collision, and we know how tough Hargrove is as a tackler. Physical play right there by both. Good run by Bonta.
2nd down, 7 to go at their Bennett 26. Jackson, handoff Bonta, bounces off the lineman again, keeps the weight falling forward as he's wrapped up from behind by Nairi Feaster. Bonta using the 5'9", 195-pound frame as a battering ram early. 3rd down and 3 for Jamestown.
Yeah, good job by Feaster coming in from behind like that to wrap up and get him down. But good job by Bonta. Leg drive, keep driving forward. He was wrapped up at about a 1 or 2 yard gain, but carried for about 3 or 4 more. That's his style of running.
Third down, 3 to go for Jamestown at the Bennett 22, down by 6. Handoff Bonta, left side. The bodies move backward. 4 Bennett Tigers on the ground after the play. Bonta underneath all of them. And he's short by 2 yards. Armando Giangreco with the tackle for Bennett, one of many in on the stop.
That's exactly right. Giangreco did a great job of being the initial one to stuff that thing. Gang tackling obviously helps, but Giangreco was able to cause the clutter that you need to stop Bonta.
4th down and 2. Jamestown lines up to go for it at the Bennett 21. Handoff, Alaric Richards, left side. The freshman spins at the 20, tries to fall forward, but the weight pushes him back. Stopped at the 20-yard line by Dontre Hampton.
Hampton did an amazing job of coming off the edge, shooting downhill and wrapping up. That Bennett defense is strong. Good job by Hampton.
Turnover on downs for Jamestown. After the great punt return from Jericho Thagard, it yields only 10 more yards. And Bennett takes over 1st and 10 at their own 20. 2:40 to play in the opening quarter. 6-0. The Bennett Tigers lead the Jamestown Red and Green in the AA sectional championship. 1st and 10. Fake of the give for Barnes. He rolls to his right and has some space to take off. Throws across his body into the turf. About 3 yards short of the intended target. Hargrove 15 yards downfield.
Right there was a sign of a team that isn't used to repping pass plays. You're rolling to the right, a little boot. He really had nobody out there to throw the ball to. There was one route deep that he wasn't prepared to make that throw. Nobody short or intermediate. Tough play. He almost threw across his body. That was going to be a tough completion. Get back to your basics right now.
2nd and 10 at their own 20. Tight formation for Bennett. 2 tight ends on the field. Handoff Valentine. Shakes away from one tackle, dives across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Jimmy Valentine makes 7 yards look easy on 2nd down.
Exactly, and that's why you try that pass on 1st down, because you know you can come right back and get your 7 back that you need. 3rd and manageable. That style of running is just going to be tough. That was a good job up front. He was able to get to the linebackers with untouched.
3rd down and 3 at the 27. Barnes, handoff, Valentine grabbed at the ankles. Just past the line of scrimmage, he falls short of the yard to gain. The defensive end, Cole Anderson, held on for the tackle.
Big time play up front to hold their line like that. And both players were able to wrap and get Valentine down right away to make this 4th and short.
6-0 the lead for Bennett. Lined up to go for it at their own 29-yard line, 4th and 1. Plunged into the line was Valentine, and it's gonna come down to the spot. The scrum of bodies all down at the 30-yard line. The spot is right on the 30, and it is a Bennett 1st down. What a gutsy call from Steve McDuffie and the Bennett Tigers to go for it.
No question, love the gutsy call. Especially like we talked about, punting in this game is going to be up to you. That is at your own risk with these 2 returners. 4th, and that was a yard's being nice. It was 4th and probably half a yard, and it looked like they got a half a yard. We don't have replay. We know that here in high school football. I'm getting used to that this year. A lot of good calls by the officials without replay on those short yardage runs.
1st and 10 for Bennett at their own 30, and a flag before the snap. A false start on the left tackle, Armando Giangreco, for the Bennett Tigers. 2 false start penalties on Bennett this opening quarter. 1:09 to go in the first frame. 6-0 Bennett the lead after a 67-yard punt return touchdown for Jack Eskridge. It's a handoff for Valentine. He gets swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. So many white uniforms collide with the stout 5'10", 185 Jimmy Valentine, a gain of maybe 1.
Both defensive lines have come out. They're making the running backs earn their yards right now. We're not seeing the gashing runs that we've seen, that we're used to seeing, especially with Jamestown and Bennett. I mean, we looked at the average per carries. Right now they're fighting. They're earning their yards. Credit to both defensive lines. Which quarterback is going to step up for Jamestown and Bennett right now to make a pass, complete a pass.
Second down and 14 at their own 26. Pitch to the near side. Dontre Hampton puts the ball in his left hand, breaks away from one tackle as he scoots past Angel Martinez out of bounds across the 45-yard line on the near side. Dontre Hampton moves the ball to the 47, a first down for Bennett.
And like we talked about, running through arm tackles is critical, making people miss in space. However you're going to do it as a back, Hampton has that big playability. Plays on defense, making plays off the edge in areas with the ball in his hands. It almost looks like he can take it a distance every time he gets it on the edge like that.
20 seconds to go in the first quarter. Bennett looking to add to their 6-0 lead. First and 10 at their own 47. Barnes fakes the handoff, stands in the pocket, delivers it downfield. He's got Eskridge wide open. Jack Eskridge, the fourth. Touchdown, Bennett. It's Agent Zero's second score of the opening quarter. 12-0 Bennett. 11 seconds to go in the frame.
Yeah, they faked a little bit. Thagard stepped up. Thagard he jumped up a little bit, was watching the backfield, and you can't do that against Eskridge. Any type of pause as a defender against Eskridge, and it's over. Nice job by Barnes. He had great time, beautiful, clean pocket. Not sure if Thagard thought he had help at safety. Not sure if there's confusion there. That was a straight, just beautiful go get the ball. Eskridge and Tyreek Hill like he does every week now these last 2 weeks. He's a dominant player.
2-point conversion, pitch right side. Hampton lowers the shoulder at the numbers, and he pounds his way into the end zone. 14-0 Bennett, the lead over Jamestown with 11 ticks of the clock remaining in the opening quarter. Jack Eskridge, 2 touchdowns for Bennett.
Anytime you have a player like that with Eskridge, with speed to score from anywhere on the field, you have to keep using him like they are, and I love it. Punt return, sweeps, deep ball, any way you can. Jamestown has to think about him all the time. Oh, and by the way, you have to stop Valentine and Hampton too. Two of the better combo backs I think we've seen now. I think we could say that. Hampton especially, I guess we saw his kind of welcome to the Section 6 moment game last week, but the sky's the limit for him as a player, especially next year when Valentine's gone.
Jamestown had their chance to stop on that drive. Bennett, a 4th down conversion, kept the drive alive. 53-yard touchdown pass from Barnes to Eskridge. The Denny's kickoff fielded at the 40-yard line for Jamestown. Lou Diaz cuts to the near side, and he stumps his way to the 50-yard line. Diaz, a fireball of energy, with his team trailing 2 scores as the first quarter winds down. Jamestown to begin their 4th offensive drive tonight at their own 49-yard line. Just 4 seconds remain in the first quarter. It's a run for Bonta. No, Richards, left side. He breaks free, gets grabbed from behind and dragged down across midfield at the 44. Akari Brown, the tackle for the Bennett defense, and the first quarter comes to a close. 14-0. The Bennett Tigers lead the Jamestown Red and Green at the end of 12 minutes of football. We'll return with Villa Maria College's Friday Night Lights on BTPM after this.
Visit Villa Maria College and discover what it means to be a Viking. Come see the energy, teamwork, and pride that makes the Villa Vikings unstoppable. Schedule your tour at visit.villa.edu.
BTPM's Friday Night Lights, in partnership with Section 6, is presented by Villa Maria College, advancing educational opportunity for all of Western New York. Friday Night Lights is supported by our members and by the WNED Foundation Incorporated. Mr. Goodbar, your headquarters for watching away games on Elmwood Avenue. Denny's, America's Diner is always open. Brighton Liquor and Wine, 930 Brighton Road in Tonawanda. And by SEI. SEI proudly supports the WNED Foundation.
These days, it seems like there are people who think the voting process is absolutely lawless. Like you just show up and toss your pin on any old ballot. But I'm here to set that straight. Because I'm Corey, and this is Compact Civics. First, you have to register. It's a pretty rigid process, but it's not hard to do. In New York State, you can do it at any DMV, by mail, or online. To be eligible to vote in all U.S. elections, you must be a U.S. citizen, meet your state's residency requirements, and be at least 18 years old by election day. For the record, non-citizens and permanent legal residents cannot vote. To ensure you can vote, confirm your eligibility, register by your state's deadline, and understand any rule that may affect your voting rights. Voting is the easiest way to participate in democracy and influence governance. But remember, it comes with strict legal guidelines.
Support for Friday Night Lights comes from our members and from SEI. SEI proudly supports the WNED Foundation, connecting communities through the Friday Night Lights tradition. More information at SEIC.com.
Welcome back to Highmark Stadium. Jack Kreuzer and Jim Monis with you for BTPM's Friday Night Lights. We throw down to our third member of our crew, Leah Jurek. Leah?
This matchup feels like the perfect farewell for Highmark Stadium's 46-year run of hosting Section 6 championships. We got two powerhouse teams with plenty of hardware to close us out tonight. Jamestown, who won the very first title here in 1979, and Bennett, who's become a modern-day dynasty with 4 championships since 2016. Now, both teams are led by coaches who have won state titles, so they know exactly what it takes to win on this field, but only one of them will walk away tonight, being the last champion at the Ralph. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Leah. Great history between these two teams. Jamestown in search of their 15th sectional title in program history. Bennett leading the charge 14-0 through one quarter. They're looking for their 5th title in program history. 2nd down and 4 to go for the Jamestown offense after the change of quarters. A fake of the give to Bonta. It's a throw to the right side. Richards makes the grab, and he gets to the 35-yard line before Feaster can bring him down. It's a first down for Jamestown, working right to left towards the scoreboard end zone at Highmark Stadium.
Love that play call coming out of the quarter like that. Let's do something different. We got 2nd and manageable, running the ball. We need some completions, play action. Easy completion in the flat. Great job by Feaster to make that tackle, because if he doesn't, that's a long play.
First down and 10 for Jamestown at the Bennett 35 on the far hash. It's a keeper for Alaric Richards, who got the snap in the Wildcat formation. He faked the give to Bonta as Jackson Gray was still standing on the near sideline with his head coach, Tom Langworthy. Now the sophomore, number 15, makes his way back onto the field, replacing Lou Diaz in the formation.
Yeah, once again, I like that. Coming out of the quarter, doing different things, keeping Bennett off balance to start this quarter.
Down 14-0. Jamestown driving. This one started right at midfield. They've picked up one first down already. 2nd down, 7 to go. It's a give to the right side, and Chase Bonta moves the pile ahead to set up 3rd down and short at the Bennett 28-yard line.
2-down territory, obviously, right now.
It's not hard to spot the neon green mouthguard of Chase Bonta. This game, though, he swapped out the neon green gloves for black ones. 3rd down and 3 for Jamestown at the Bennett 28. Handoff Richards, right side. Everyone swarmed to Bonta to the left. Richards dives as he's tripped up by the ankles of Hampton. Down to the 26-yard line to set up 4th down and 1 for Jamestown.
Big time tackle by Hampton. Honestly, he has wrapped up so well in space to get Richards down. I thought he was getting that first easy. Gets him down a yard short. Here we go again.
4th and 1 at the 26. A whistle blows before the snap. Steve McDuffie and Anthony Scott, the defensive coordinator for Bennett, called timeout before the snap for Jamestown. Well, so far, statistically speaking, these two teams fairly balanced in their offenses. When it comes to the ground game, Jamestown totaling 51 yards so far, 35 of those on 10 carries for Chase Bonta. On the flip side for Bennett, Dontre Hampton leads the way with 36 yards on the ground, part of their 52 yards rushing so far. So very even ground game. It's the two big passes from Bennett and obviously the punt return touchdown from Eskridge. That's the difference so far.
Yeah, I mean, the hot players from last week are hot again. Eskridge and Hampton are the hot players right now. It's just almost like basketball. Feed him the rock, ride him. Hampton on both sides of the ball making tackles, making plays on offense. His length, he's a taller running back, receiver, safety, however you linebacker, however you want to phrase where he's playing. But that length shows up in space to make that tackle they just made to stop them from the first down.
Steve McDuffie, the man who called timeout for Bennett at the early stages of this second quarter. 4th and 1 for Jamestown. Handoff Bonta. He pounds his way for a first down and stayed on his feet before being taken down by Johnson across the 30-yard line. First down for Jamestown. It was Bennett who converted on a 4th down play their last drive that ended up in a 53-yard passing score to Eskridge. Jamestown looks to get on the board for the first time tonight, trailing 14-0. They've converted a 4th down of their own now.
Yeah, you almost feel like they have to end up in the end zone to keep this game back, keep this game competitive here right now because Bennett's rolling on offense.
1st and 10 at the 24. Handoff Bonta. Left side, the ball comes out. He falls right on it at the 18-yard line. He was held onto from behind by the safety, Akari Brown. Jason Hargrove punched it out, but Bonta, all he had to do was belly flop onto the turf at Highmark Stadium to keep possession in favor of the team in all white.
Great job technique-wise from Hargrove coming in on that, trying to wrap up Bonta and also getting that ball out. Nice job, Bonta, falling on it.
2nd and 5 at the positive 19. It's a handoff. Bonta up the middle. Breaks one tackle. He gets grabbed upstairs by the shoulder pads by Akari Brown. It's a big gain for Bonta all the way down inside the 10.
And this looks like Jamestown's offense. Bonta just getting what he gets up the middle, play action, getting the ball to Richards on the outside. But that was a great tackle by Akari Brown right there to get that to save a touchdown, really, make them earn it.
The Bennett Tigers call their second timeout of this half, second timeout of this drive. What a nice run from Chase Bonta. Now, Jim, everyone knows that Bonta's going to touch the ball if you're a Bennett defensive coordinator like Anthony Scott. What is it about Jamestown's offense that allows him to still get these positive yards and big burst plays like we just saw?
Well, we have to give the offensive line credit. Anytime you can consistently run the ball, it's good up front. They know what they're doing up front. Thagard on the outside can keep you honest. It helps. But Jamestown doesn't throw the ball enough to really affect or to game plan for Thagard. You just have to be aware. It's straight up front. We're big, we're strong, and Bonta, big, strong. Can you match their physicality?
Eli DeLeon, the right guard, is a 3-year starter for Jamestown. He's the heartbeat of the front five for the red and green. He lost last year with Jamestown, falling to the Lancaster Legends in the 2024 Class AA sectional title game. Jamestown's last championship in Class AA was in 2014. They went on to win the state championship that year. 1st and 10 at the Bennett 7. Handoff Bonta, left side, daylight, touchdown! Chase Bonta, 27th rushing touchdown of the season, and Jamestown is on the board.
And sometimes it just takes a second or two to get rolling on offense, and Jamestown did. And that is their style. It feels good. It gives you the confidence now to know, hey, this is our style of football. They couldn't stop us. Everything's okay. Take your breath. Great finish by Bonta right on the left side.
Evan Maloney lined up to kick toward the scoreboard goalposts to our left at Highmark Stadium for the extra point. Snap, kick, perfect. Splits the uprights at Highmark Stadium. Kindly, the Buffalo Bills put in the high school uprights for kids to kick on, not the narrow ones you see in the NFL on Sundays. Maloney drills it 14-7. Bennett still with the lead, but Jamestown makes it a one-score game with 8:49 to go in the opening half on Friday Night Lights, presented by Villa Maria College. This, the score that went final back in week 5, a 14-7 Bennett win on October the 3rd. 5 straight wins since then for the Jamestown Red and Green. That was one of 7 straight wins for Bennett, who enter tonight 8-1 as the top seed in Class AA. No one has marched down the field like that on Bennett all season since Jamestown in October.
It's a credit up front, seriously, because we know how good Bennett is defensively and how physical they are. So for Jamestown to match that and have that kind of drive, but I like that they started that drive with that flat route.
Evan Maloney set for the Denny's kickoff. A high kick fielded at the 25. Eskridge waits, now takes off up the middle. He gets wrapped up by the shoulder pads, and there comes the reinforcements for Bennett. A neat tackle on special teams for Jamestown's Jeremiah Pizarro. The junior makes a great tackle on one of the slipperiest returners in Western New York. First and 10, Bennett takes over at their own 36.
And that's what was key on that. As a kickoff return team, they swarm to the ball to not let him out of your sight until he's on that ground. He is dangerous, as we just saw. It looked like he may have snuck out of that one.
8:41 to go in the first half. Bennett looks to respond. They had a big touchdown through the air on their last drive. First and 10 at the 36. Handoff Valentine. He fights for extra yards as he gets to the second level. He had to carry with him Isaiah Watson, the defensive lineman for Jamestown, who eventually brings down the strong senior running back for Bennett.
Strong is a good word for that run in general. Bennett was strong up front, moving the line of scrimmage down the field, and Valentine just got on their backs along for the ride.
Second down, 2 to go after the pickup of 8 for Valentine on first. Handoff to him again, left side. He bounces in between the tackles and eventually is pushed backward after gaining a couple on the ground to the left.
Almost went right back to the same play. Looked like Jamestown, once again, we keep talking, strong up front, making him earn it. No gain on that.
Amos Lutet, the pulling right guard on that second down run. Marked short of the line to gain. 3rd down and 1 just before the 46-yard line, marching up toward midfield. Bennett with one receiver split wide to the near side. It's Eskridge outside the numbers. Pitch from Barnes near side. Hampton follows his block, knocks down one defender as he gets across midfield down to the 45-yard line. Dontre Hampton with a grown man's run to move the sticks.
And another grown man block from our number 9, Feaster at fullback. What a player he is.
How valuable a fullback can be to an offense these days.
I say it every week. Just watch the NFL. You're going to see 3 tight end formations. You see fullbacks in the NFL. The great teams use all those guys to score.
First and 10 at the 45 for Bennett. In Jamestown territory at the 45, faking the give. Barnes wants to air it out, and he does. Down the middle of the field, looking for Eskridge. It's too far ahead of him. The ball landed at the goal line when Eskridge was at the 5. Oh, but Eskridge had Thagard beat deep again.
So Barnes just showed off the arm. That was a 50 to 55-yard throw in the air, just counted that, and overthrew Eskridge. That's hard to do. Eskridge gave it everything he had. He was behind Thagard again. He just overshot him. That's hard to do. That was a beautiful throw, though. That's how you want to throw that ball.
And now for 2nd and 10, Eskridge taken out. He is gassed. At the 45, pitch to Hampton, left side. With a burst of speed, gets to the 40, gets hit hard, and taken down at the 39-yard line. Thagard may have taken out some aggression on that tackle after getting beat the play before. Angel Martinez, the junior corner, came into this game with 47 tackles for Jamestown. He's been in on a few stops so far in this first half. 3rd down and 4 for Bennett, leading 14-7 with 6.5 to go in the second quarter. Tight formation, no Eskridge on the field. Barnes, pitch, near side. Hampton skirts inside, gets hit at the 40, and down he goes. The Jamestown defense led by Chase Bonta. Tackle for loss. Cole Anderson on the stop as well. 4th down and 5 for Bennett.
Great effort, Jamestown defense, once again, to make those tackles. Cole Anderson, nice job stopping the initial run and then the gang tackle to get him on the ground. Really strong up front.
4th down and 5 for Bennett. Each team has converted a 4th down on the last 2 drives. At the 40-yard line of Jamestown, Barnes in the spread, airs it out, middle of the field, it's a duck, and it's tipped and incomplete. Off the hands of Angel Martinez. Jamestown nearly picked it, but it falls incomplete nonetheless. A turnover on downs, and Jamestown gets the ball at their own 40.
Yeah, a little lack of creation on that 4th down play. Just kind of a go route. Jamestown stayed in a zone, was disciplined, nothing there. Could have acted like a punt. Try to get a pass interference or a punt if interception there, and you can tackle them. It's as good as a punt. Nice job actually by Jamestown to not intercept it. Now you have outstanding field position.
It's a good point. Probably coached that way to knock it down.
That would be nice way of giving coaching credit. We'd have to ask that question after the game.
1st and 10 at the 40, a run up the middle for Jamestown, and Chase Bonta, maybe 2 yards on that. I want to give Tom Langworthy credit, the longtime head coach at Jamestown, now in his 18th season, 120 wins under his belt and a New York State championship. You don't get there without great coaching. 2nd down and 8 at their own 42, and a flag thrown by the near side linesman. Offside, perhaps Bennett lined up offside. And that they are. 5-yard penalty on the Tigers. And Steve McDuffie is out from the far sideline.
It was Nasir Johnson. He clearly was lined up on the over the line of scrimmage. Not sure what he's trying to debate there, but
Anthony Scott was upset as well, the defensive coordinator for Bennett. Now 2nd down and 3 for Jamestown, approaching midfield. Handoff, Bonta bounces out to the left side. Stiff arm on Hargrove. He gets pushed from behind as he carries Brown across the 50. A 1st down for Jamestown.
Good effort running. Nasir Tillman did a good job for Bennett to come in there and kind of make that initial contact to stop it. It looked like it was going to be a short run, but good job by the leg drive and the push by up front.
1st down and 10 for Bennett, or for Jamestown rather, in Bennett territory at the 49. Handoff left side. And that time Bonta falls forward for a couple. When plays like that happen, Jim, the Jamestown offense isn't discouraged at all by a couple yards on the ground.
Oh no, that's standard. As long as you're not losing yards for Jamestown, you're fine. They know the next play's coming. Just keep moving forward.
Under 5 minutes to go in the 1st half. Bennett the 14-7 lead over Jamestown, but the red and green driving. 2nd and 7, pass play. Jackson Gray, throw to the right, tipped and incomplete. Nearly picked off by Dontre Hampton. It was in his hands and it fell out.
Trying to sneak out in the flat again. Gray's throw was behind. Hampton dropped a pick. Could have been a game changer. Tough one. Dangerous throw. Off on the accuracy on that one. Didn't lead Rickards on that one in the flat.
3rd down, 7 to go. At the 46-yard line of Bennett. Jamestown feels like they have to score before the 1st half winds down, and Bennett gets the ball to start the 2nd. Gray fakes the give. Throw to the left side, incomplete. It was behind Alaric Richards.
And Richards, beautiful route. They had a man coverage that really was a nice design. Gray didn't put any touch on it. He zipped it, needed a little air. Let Richards go run under that.
Now danger time. Jack Eskridge onto the field to return the Jamestown punt. Jericho Thagard, one playmaker to another. Lined up to boot it away for the red and green with 4:11 to go in the 1st half. High snap, handled by Thagard. A great punt, end over end, that bounces at the 20, scooped up by Eskridge. He's got 3 defenders around him, has to get to the far side. Beats DeLeon to the 20, gets past it, out of bounds on the far sideline at the 22-yard line. That's where the Bennett offense will take the field. This just the 4th offensive drive of the game for the Bennett Tigers. Jack Kreuzer and Jim Monis with you on Buffalo Toronto Public Media's Friday Night Lights. This, the 11th and final game of our high school football season. What a way to end it at Highmark Stadium in the final high school game in the 46-year history of championship games being played at the home of the Bills. First down and 10 for Bennett at their own 22. Under 4 minutes to go in the half. Barnes throws it left side, caught at the 29. Tackle made immediately on Tyson Johnson. Drew Bloomquist came over to make the stop. Bennett wants to move with pace. Second down and 1 after the gain of 9, right to the line of scrimmage. Barnes in the spread, takes the snap wide to the right, handles it, throws it over the middle, a spiral that's well too high over the head that time of Tyson Johnson. Incomplete.
Jamestown's playing like a cover 3, and Bennett was trying to stretch the field, trying to hit Morrison down the seam.
It's McKay Morrison, you're right, good call.
Sevens everywhere on the field. But that really what they were trying to do on that. That's a good route to go against cover 3 like that, trying to hit the seam, just not on the same page. Third and short. Make sure you get your first here.
Bennett faces 3rd and 1 at their own 31. Handoff Valentine has space on the left side, wrapped up by Bloomquist and thrown down. Make that Angel Martinez with the tackle, but a first down for Jimmy Valentine across the 45. It's been a while since we've seen Valentine.
And that was the burst that we like about Valentine, where he just saw that, boom, gets it, almost thought he was going to do more. Nice tackle to get him down in open space.
First down and 10. Bennett right to the line. Spread formation, 2 receivers either side. Barnes in the pocket, steps up, throws on the run across the field. It's caught by Johnson at the 53-yard line. Make that Akari Brown with the catch. All receivers getting involved for Bennett on this drive, treating it like a 2-minute drill of sorts. But a flag is thrown behind the play, behind the Bennett offensive line. It's a holding call that will back this play up beyond the sticks. Clock stops with 3:03 to go in the second quarter. Bennett leading Jamestown 14-7. The winner not only gets to go down as the final sectional champion in Highmark Stadium history, but will also take on the winner of Penfield or Pittsford in the Far West Regional next week. First down and 20 at their own 36 for Bennett. Barnes with a 10-step drop, gets hit under pressure, throws it away. Up the far sideline, it falls incomplete. Cole Anderson with the pressure for Jamestown.
Great job by Anderson, almost timing up the snap with his get-off, and was able to beat Lyons right around the edge and put that immediate pressure to get the throwaway. Anderson all over the field right now.
Rashad Loynes at right tackle, 6'5", 285. Not easy to get around. Anderson did it there. Second and 20 at the 36. Barnes looks to his right, throws to the near sideline. It is well incomplete. Thagard tripped, and Eskridge was wide open at the 50, but that pass, an errant one. Third down and 20 now.
Very good point by you making it. Thagard did fall down trying to get over to make the play on Eskridge. If it's a better throw, that's a touchdown.
Your objective, number 1 for Bennett, was get Eskridge involved, and they've done it. He's got both of their touchdowns tonight, a punt return touchdown and a receiving touchdown, for a combined 120 yards on those 2 plays alone.
And Barnes overthrew him on a 50-yard would-be touchdown.
3rd and 20 at the 36. Barnes to pass again. Airs it out middle of the field, looking for Brown. It is up, tipped, and incomplete. Knocked down by Thagard. And boy, are they lucky. McKay Morrison didn't end up with that deflected ball. He slid down behind the play and nearly caught it for Bennett. Nonetheless, it falls incomplete. 4th and long for Bennett.
Good discipline by Jamestown. Just play straight cover 3-2, whatever zone they were in back there to get that jump ball. But a nice job by Bennett to at least take a chance. And once again, it can act like a punt, but Jamestown doing a nice job of setting themselves up for some really good field position.
Thagard to receive the punt. Barnes just gets it away as Bonta came flying in. No flag was thrown, even though Bonta landed in the space of Carl Barnes. No call for impeding the kicker. Around Western New York, brought to you by the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library. We look at the final scores from yesterday in the Section 6 championship games. earlier. Lackawanna rolled over West Seneca East. 44 points put up by Lackawanna, holding West Seneca East to just 2 scores. Your 4 sectional champions so far: Newfane, Chautauqua Lake, Westfield, Brockton, McKinley, and Lackawanna. 1st and 10 for Jamestown at their own 48. It's a sweep to the left side, and Richards is taken down by Feaster.
Feaster as a linebacker, as we like to do comparisons, I'm going to take one back, but I've seen enough games. He's got some Ray Lewis in him. He makes every play at inside linebacker. He's all over the field. His instincts, toughness, tackling, wrap up in space. Nairi Feaster in 2 weeks has become one of my favorite players on defense to watch this year. I know that.
Jamestown taking their time. They've got 2 timeouts to work with before the end of the half. Under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. In the gun, Gray drops back to pass, airs it out middle of the field. It just misses Alaric Richards on the seam. He had so much space in front of him, but the pass was too far ahead.
Touch. He did it last series too, where he just didn't put, it was a beautiful play action. They had almost like a old school, we call pop pass, play action. Running back sneaks down the seam. It was wide open over the top. You just have to put a little air on it and let Richards go run and get it. Gray just had too much zip on throws to Richards both times, where a little touch, I think, is the difference in the completion.
3rd down and 12 for Jamestown, trailing 14-7. 1:44 to go in the half. Gray fakes the give to Bonta, throws near side looking for Cruz. It's incomplete. Out of bounds on the near sideline. And that may have hit our parabolic mic operator. Mike Liu is down there. Thought he was going to make a play on the ball.
Got to make sure he's healthy. Is he okay?
Mike looks fine. He shakes it off. Josiah Cruz upset that one wasn't catchable enough. And it forces Jamestown to punt just like that. Less than a minute spent on this offensive drive with a couple of incomplete passes. 4th and 12 at their own 46. Thagard at his own 30. Extra space given. Dovetailing punt that angles to the near sideline inside the 20, downed by Jamestown's Drew Bloomquist. A great punt from Thagard will start the drive for Bennett, what could be the final drive of the opening half, at their own 19 with 1:29 to go in the second quarter. Class AA was a fun one to follow all season long. We saw plenty of teams in this class, including Bennett's win over Lancaster last week, 52-13. They defeated the Legends in the semifinal. As you see the path to the championship game on BTPM PBS and our YouTube channel, Bennett earned that bye as the #1 seed. It pays off. 1st and 10 for the Bennett Tigers at their own 19. It's a run to the left side. Gone nowhere, as it looked like Valentine may have tripped behind the line of scrimmage. He fell down for a loss of 2. Bennett with 1 timeout to use before the end of the half. They do get the ball to start the third quarter, or at least they receive the kick to start the second half. I know from your time with the New Orleans Saints, it's not always the team who thinks they're getting the ball that will start with it to start the second half.
Playoffs, state championships, Super Bowls, that's your time to pull out something after the half.
Sean Payton knows that. 50 seconds to go in the half. Barnes wants to throw to the far side. He misses Eskridge on the comeback route. That'll set up 3rd down and 12. Still 45 seconds to go in this quarter, and Jamestown has 2 timeouts to use. Bennett has to get a 1st down here.
Agree, Jack. Before this series, they had to be thoughtful of the clock on this, where you want to get the clock running. You don't want to. You haven't been throwing the ball very well. What makes you think you're going to march down the field 90 yards with 1 timeout, 50 seconds to go? Use the clock right now. You need to get this thing to half.
3rd and 12. Handoff right up the middle. Valentine finds a hole, gets hit down low by Martinez right near the sticks. They needed 12, and it'll come down to the spot. Scott Fish walks over to the football, gives a look to the far side, and puts up his right fist, signaling 4th down. They're asking Tom Langworthy if he wants a timeout with 38 seconds to go. The clock is stopped, though Jamestown has not taken a timeout. Now the clock continues to tick. Jamestown elects not to use it. 4th and 1. Bennett going to go for it. Barnes up the middle has the first down. With 30 seconds to go in the half, leading by 7. A risky play again for Steve McDuffie and the Bennett offense, but the quarterback sneak works for the Tigers. 1st and 10, they'll get it at their own 32. If they want to snap the football, they can. They do not need to. Jamestown with 2 safeties playing deep. 1st and 10 with 7 seconds to go in the half. Barnes will take his shot. Standing in the pocket, delivers it down the field. It is tipped and picked off by Jamestown. And look out, Angel Martinez has it. Down the far sideline, Martinez tiptoes the side. Martinez, inside the 20. What a return for Angel Martinez. What could have been danger for the Bennett Tigers. Another look on PBS.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's, I guess you could take your shot like that. It's just, this is the risk you have. Now it's a return. You have to make sure you make the tackle. Good job by the offense to make sure you get the tackle.
And in the process, Jack Eskridge got hurt. He's down at the 40-yard line of Jamestown as the first half comes to an end. Jack Eskridge lies down on his back. There was a holding call against Jamestown on the play. That penalty's declined by Bennett Steve McDuffie. Jack Eskridge still getting looked at by not only the training staff and assistant coaches at Bennett, but also Nyree Feaster and a few of his teammates. Well, Jim, the result of the play was null for Bennett or Jamestown, but if Eskridge is injured any more than a cramp, that's a real tough decision for Bennett to throw that football.
Yeah, I'm always a believer in being aggressive, but it has to match the timeouts and the time on the clock. Everything has to match up to take your chances like that.
The fact that Eskridge is still sitting down on the turf is reason for concern. Steve McDuffie joins our Leah Jurek down on the sideline.
All right, Coach, your offense has found success moving the ball. What do you need to do to continue this in the second half?
Oh, we just need to we can wind up on the other side at the end of the game. I'm kind of a little concerned right now with some of the penalties, and it seems like right now we just have to, stop the penalties and play a better second half.
Okay, all right, go get him, Coach. Thank you for your time.
All right, thanks, Leah. Well, Steve McDuffie not happy with that at halftime, and again, they're still looking at Jack Eskridge. As Coach McDuffie has a chance to talk to his star wide receiver, who is now standing at 39. We'll give you an update as we roll into the SEI halftime show. Your score at the half brought to you by Mr. Goodbar. 14 for Bennett, 7 for Jamestown in the Class AA championship game in Section 6. We'll be back after this.
Visit Villa Maria College and discover what it means to be a Viking. Come see the energy, teamwork, and pride that makes the Villa Vikings unstoppable. Schedule your tour at visit.villa.edu.
BTPM's Friday Night Lights, in partnership with Section 6, is presented by Villa Maria College, advancing educational opportunity for all of Western New York. Friday Night Lights is supported by our members and by the WNED Foundation Incorporated. Mr. Goodbar, your headquarters for watching away games on Elmwood Avenue. Denny's, America's Diner, is always open. Brighton Liquor and Wine, 930 Brighton Road in Tonawanda. And by SEI. SEI proudly supports the WNED Foundation.
Each month, BTPM Classical brings the music off the airwaves and onto the stage. Our live on-stage concerts feature world-class performances and intimate conversations with the artists, all for free at Buffalo Toronto Public Media. Sign up for the next concert at btpm.org/events and watch previous performances on the BTPM YouTube channel.
BTPM NPR's Disabilities Beat promotes awareness and inclusivity, amplifies underrepresented voices, and holds corporations and governments accountable.
What assurance can you offer consumers that these problems won't repeat in New York, and what accountability measures do you have in place?
Hear reports from the Disabilities Beat, hosted by Emily Watkins, every Wednesday on BTPM NPR during Morning Edition and All Things Considered. The BTPM Disabilities Beat is funded in part by the Peter and Elizabeth Tower Foundation.
Hey, football fans, check out the USA Wheelchair Football League Tournament, presented by Buffalo Toronto Public Media. Cheer on our very own Buffalo Bills as they face off with the Patriots, the Cowboys, the Raiders, and the Browns.
It's picked off!
Head to the Buffalo Toronto Public Media YouTube channel to stream it now.
Catch up on the latest from Buffalo Toronto Public Media on our YouTube channel. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update.
What if your spare change could help protect the public media you love? When you link your Visa or MasterCard at btpm.roundforgood.com, your everyday purchases are rounded up to the nearest dollar. At the end of the month, that change becomes one simple donation to Buffalo Toronto Public Media, fueling public media and strengthening our community. One cup of coffee, one grocery run, one roundup at a time. You're in control. Pause or cancel anytime. It's simple. It adds up. Small change, big impact.
Support for Buffalo Toronto Public Media's Friday Night Lights comes from our members and from Mr. Good Bar, your Elmwood Avenue home for football and more food, beverage, and atmosphere. At 1110 Elmwood Avenue in Buffalo, Mr. Good Bar, home of DJ Crespo's away game viewing parties.
This is Isaiah Gerstling from Newfane. You're listening to Friday Night Lights on BTPM NPR, WBFO and WBFO HD1 Buffalo, WUBJ Jamestown, WOLN Olean. This is a service of Buffalo Toronto Public Media.
Welcome to the SEI Halftime Show. SEI proudly supporting the WNED Foundation. More information at the SEIC.com. 14-7, the Bennett Tigers, the lead over the Jamestown Red and Green at the half of the Class AA Sectional Championship game. Jack Kreuzer and Jim is with you. Welcome inside the Villa Maria College broadcast booth. Glad you could join us and make Friday Night Lights a part of your weekend. It's a chilly one, now below 40 degrees, Jim. You think that plays an effect at all on the ground and pound style that these teams both run?
No, this is a warm day in Buffalo. I've learned that. This is nothing, and if you complain about it, you're not from here. So this fits everything. More importantly, we know how that half ended. We know what to pay attention to. Is the playmaker Tyreek Hill like Jack Estridge healthy?
Yeah, that's the biggest question. Eskridge injured on the final play of the first half. A shot that Bennett didn't necessarily need to take with a one-score lead. They do receive the kickoff to start the second half. I think on that line, Jim, all momentum favors Jamestown right now.
Yeah, we talk about Big Mo. Momentum all the time plays such a factor in football, and it has switched. It started out, Big Mo was on Bennett's sideline. He is now hanging out on Jamestown's sideline.
It's been a back-and-forth game. Bennett struck first with a punt return touchdown for Jack Eskridge. That went 67 yards on the return. Eskridge, the playmaker, got another one through the air. A 53-yard touchdown reception for Eskridge from Carl Barnes. We saw shades of that last week in their win over Lancaster. Bennett wasn't afraid to air it out in the first half when the game is still in the balance. Barnes has shown an ability to throw the ball that could be a big reason for Bennett claiming their 5th program title if they can win this second half.
Yeah, we know Barnes has the arm strength. We saw that on display. Can he do the down, in, and out, consistency, accuracy-wise, to really be a difference maker throwing the football? But as a playmaker, Barnes has been tough with that backfield. Hampton and Valentine and Eskridge. Feaster making blocks at fullback. I mean, this offense is loaded, yet right now they're struggling.
It was a 14-0 Bennett lead before Jamestown worked their way down the field. Bonta cashed in on that drive to make it 14-7. That's our score at halftime. More after this.
Visit Villa Maria College and discover what it means to be a Viking. Come see the energy, teamwork, and pride that makes the Villa Vikings unstoppable. Schedule your tour at visit.villa.edu.
A well-crafted will or estate plan speaks volumes about your hopes and dreams for the future. It also ensures that what you've worked a lifetime for is distributed according to your wishes. As Buffalo Toronto Public Media looks to our future, we would be honored to share your legacy and ensure that quality public broadcasting is here for future generations. Please contact me, Lisa Latrovato, at 716-845-7031 for more information.
At PBS, we know that helping students learn is a teacher's top priority. That's why we offer our free, easy-to-use digital platform, PBS Learning Media. With thousands of standards-aligned resources in every subject, plus videos and interactive activities from the trusted programs you know and love. Wildcrats, Nova, Ken Burns, and much more. Find the content you need to enhance lessons and help spark your students' sense of curiosity at PBS Learning Media. Visit pbslearningmedia.org to learn more.
Support for Friday Night Lights comes from our members and from SEI. SEI proudly supports the WNED Foundation, connecting communities through the Friday Night Lights tradition. More information at SEIC.com.
Back on the SEI halftime show, Jack Kreuzer and Jim Monis with you. SEI proudly supporting the WNED Foundation. More information at SEIC.com. 4 sectional champions have been crowned so far. Alphabetically, in terms of size, we go from Class A to Class D, beginning with the Class A champ. Last night, McKinley defeated Health Sciences, Buffalo Academy Science, Global Concepts, 38-14 in the title game under the lights. Comes off of a impressive 22-0 win McKinley had over Grand Island. They had to squeak past Clarence in the first round, a difficult path for McKinley to win the championship and to dethrone the Falcons. That is quite impressive, ending the Falcons' undefeated season last night. In Class B, just before we had our kickoff, it was Lackawanna who defeated Les Seneca East 44-22. The number 2 seed from Class B2 knocks off the 2 seed from Class B1. The Steelers win the sectional championship for Class B, defeating Les Seneca East. And boy, we really like the look of Michael Moore, their quarterback, and credit Coach Marcus Rivers for their growth throughout the course of this season. In Class C, a stunner last night. Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton upset the previously unbeaten Southwestern Frewsburg combination 21-0. They defeated Southwestern Frewsburg in the championship. Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton, they barely got past Barker Royhart in the semifinal. 30-13 they won there, but the defense and the line play from the Eagles last night was impressive, taking down the strong Southwestern Frewsburg squad. Finally, in Class D, Mac Capon reigns supreme. He took down Wilson with his Newfane Panthers 28-20 in what was the best sectional championship this weekend before our game kicked off. Mac Capon with the game-winning score after a 20-20 tie with 4 minutes left. Capon punches it in for the undefeated Newfane Panthers, who go 11-0 in Section 6 play. They are headed to the Far West Regional next week. Newfane defeats Wilson for the Class D championship. Some statistics for the opening half at Highmark Stadium. The Bennett Tigers overall outproducing Jamestown in yardage, 168-93. Most of those coming on the ground, but Jim, perhaps you're as shocked as me. Fairly balanced for Bennett with 105 rushing yards and 63 passing from Carl Barnes.
Yeah, they're not gashing like they did last week or they're accustomed to. They're earning their yards rushing.
For the Jamestown Red and Green, Chase Bonta, 17 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown in the first half. He has to be the guy in the second half for Jamestown to come back.
No, Jamestown's offense looks like we thought it would look now after they got off to that little rocky start. Can Jackson Gray complete a pass to take some of the pressure off Richards and Bonta.
We will keep an eye out on the Bennett sideline to see if or when Jack Eskridge returns to the field after getting hurt on the final play of the first half. Again, a questionable call from Bennett to go for a play from their own 20-yard line to end the half. Eskridge was hurt on the play. We'll have an update on him after this, as we'll also get a word from Tom Langworthy in the Jamestown Red and Green after this.
Did you know Niagara Falls powers millions of homes? Or why Buffalo smells like Cheerios? I'm Sarah Jane, and on Compact Science, we'll uncover amazing discoveries right here in our own backyard. From Buffalo's drain elevators to the electric heart, we'll explore the science that shapes our world. Stay curious and join me on the Buffalo Toronto Public Media YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe.
I want to talk to you about the monstrous mythological salamander from antiquity. What does that have to do with civics? Bear with me. Hey people, Corey here with Compact Civics. In 1812, Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry and his party, the Democratic Republicans, hated the other party, the Federalists. Back then, voting districts were determined by the boundaries of a county. Gerry and his buddies took advantage of a loophole that gave them the power to draw up new district lines in favor of their party. The Federalists mocked the most egregious district by illustrating it as a monstrous salamander and tossed Gerry's name on it, and thus gerrymandering was born. This practice became wildly popular throughout history. It undermines voter power and impedes democracy by cherry-picking voters for a desired outcome. Thankfully, it was challenged in 2023 in New York State, and lines had to be redrawn. Next time, we'll talk about how gerrymandering makes representation unfair and directly impacts you.
Support for BTPM comes from our members and from Rigidized Metals Corporation. Rigidized Metals proudly supports its customers, the community, engineers, designers, and architects across the world.
Support for Buffalo Toronto Public Media's Friday Night Lights comes from our members and from your local Denny's. America's Diner is always open. Denny's salutes Section 6 student athletes, serving you with 18 locations throughout the region.
Final segment on the SEI halftime show. SEI proudly supporting the WNED Foundation. More information at SEIC.com. The Bennett Tigers with the lead over the Jamestown Red and Green 14-7 through 2 quarters of play. Jack Kreuzer, Jim Monis, Leah Jurek with you on BTPM's Friday Night Lights on the radio, BTPM NPR, and also on television, BTPM PBS, BTPM Create, and the BTPM YouTube channel. Thanks for making Friday Night Lights a part of your November weekend. Well, let's get over our objectives. First, for the Jamestown Red and Green, Jim, your objective number 1 was to make Barnes throw, and he's done it quite well tonight.
And they have, and to Barnes' credit, he's shown that he can complete passes, but a little uncomfortable there in the second quarter.
Number 2 for Jamestown, protect Jackson Gray.
And they have. Gray just needs to throw with a little more touch.
Number 3, take your shot.
And I think they're doing that, and I think that's important to do. I'd like to see one to Thagard, though.
Let's hear what Coach Tom Langworthy says are his keys for the second half. Leah?
All right, Coach, your team's been playing hard, keeping it close. What's the key to pull away in the second?
We just got to stay committed to what we believe in. We got to run the ball and hit our play-action passes. I thought we got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but we settled down. We're ready to play a good second half.
All right, and you've kept Bennett's playmakers in check. What's working well for your defense?
Well, we're playing aggressive. We're playing our game. We just have to be ourselves, and we just have to stay committed and make plays when it counts down the stretch.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leah. Well, Tom Langworthy seems pretty comfortable in this position. Down just 1 score, his team limiting the big plays, as Leah mentioned there, to a certain degree of the Bennett Tigers. They've had 2, and that's what's bit them so far. 14-7, the Tigers lead. Their objectives as we enter the second half. Let's get a grade for number 1, pass rushers hunt.
Well, they have, and when they have thrown the ball, Gray has rushed it because they can get after it so quickly. Getting off the ball is how they win.
Number 2, get Eskridge involved.
I mean, I think they've done that. Now, the key is, can they get him involved in the second half as he's healthy?
That's the question. We still don't have eyes on Eskridge yet. The third key for Bennett, be careful punting.
Yeah, for Thagard, but I think we switched that to both teams. When you have these 2 types of returners, it's really almost scary to punt.
All right, that'll do it for the SEI halftime show. SEI proudly supporting the WNED Foundation. More information at SEIC.com. Jack Kreuzer, Jim Monis, Leah Jurek with you on BTP Friday Night Lights, presented by Villa Maria College. Advancing educational opportunity for all of Western New York. This Jamestown team, very militaristic in their training. When they come out onto the field, all toes are on the front of the white sideline, all standing at attention for their 18-year head coach, Tom Langworthy. He's got a system of developing these young men into leaders, not only on the football field, but in life beyond. And he's had some pretty successful football teams in the process, looking to make it sectional championship number 15 in program history tonight. It will require a comeback for the Bennett Tigers on the far side. Steve McDuffie has trained the Tigers to be stone cold killers when it comes down to the crucial moments of the football game. The Tigers were just that last week in their 52-13 win over Lancaster. This, a different story. 14-7, they have the lead to start the second half, and they will return the opening kick to start the second half. Jack Eskridge is on the field to return the opening kick. A huge sigh of relief heard from the far sideline.
Yeah, you would think for Bennett, you almost feel like your momentum just came back on your side now with his health and him being able to be back there and be a threat. Interesting to see how they handle Eskridge's return. Are they going to get him? Are they going to kick him the ball and see what he's got? Is he full speed? Or is that injury affecting him?
Eskridge and Tyson Johnson stand hip to hip at their own 20. Jamestown for the Denny's kickoff from left to right. A clean kick from Maloney, high in the air, all the way to the 8-yard line. Eskridge fields it, makes one man miss at the 15, cuts to the near sideline and gets beyond Thagard. Here he goes up the sideline, pushed out of bounds across the 40. Jack Eskridge with the return for Bennett. Yeah, he looks all right to me, Jim.
Yeah, and that's a funny way to test it. That's like saying, hey, can you hit me in the face to see if you're still strong? I mean, kicking the ball to Eskridge, you're asking for trouble, and he almost got what he wanted. I mean, he almost took that back, making basically the whole team miss. That should not have been as long as return as it was. Plus, he had to go track the ball. The kick was such a good kickoff. He had to go and catch that over his head, which is not how you catch kickoffs.
Eskridge ruled out at the 38. 1st and 10. Handoff Valentine. Right side. He's got a big hole across the 50. Valentine gets past Thagard. He's got Bonta to beat, but he's taken down at the 13. Jimmy Valentine flips the field to start the third.
And guess who was blocking downfield for Mr. Valentine? Jack Eskridge. All the way downfield to finish the block for Valentine to gain extra yards. Great hustle by Bonta. Great hustle by Bonta, like we talked about, his endurance to play on both sides. But what a great start for Bennett. Eskridge sparks him with the kickoff return, and then playmaker Valentine.
1st and 10 at the 14 for Bennett. Hampton gets the give across the 10. He's tripped up, and a flag comes out from Scott Fish behind the play. It's a holding call against the Bennett Tigers. Coach Steve McDuffie was vocal about the penalty at the end of the first half. He had a long conversation before he gave that quote to Leah Jurek on the sideline with Scott Fish. Second play from scrimmage of the half, holding call.
Well, I always say with officials, it's better just to obey the rules and leave them alone, keep their names out of your mouth, just like the police. Just obey the rules.
1st and 20 at the 24 for Bennett. Barnes, handoff near side. Jason Hargrove, the fullback, as a flag flies on the near sideline at the 25. Hargrove turns upfield beyond the numbers. Between the numbers and the sideline, he gets up to the 20 for 5 yards. We'll see what this flag is for. Jim, you jinxed us here in the first quarter.
Yeah.
You said we had a very clean football game, no injuries, no penalties. Now we've had a little bit of both.
So Jamestown up front did a nice job there. If you saw Hargrove, they give the ball to Hargrove, which is a fullback, and usually we like to see him get up. Fullbacks like to run straight ahead. They bounce Hargrove, make him try to get the edge. That wasn't his style. He looked uncomfortable. Horrible, horrible couple plays here for Bennett after we just talked about nice, clean.
Good deflection, my friend.
Good job talking to the officials before the half. Not sure that worked in your favor there.
Scott Fish calls a hold on Bennett that backs him up 1st and 28 at the 33. Barnes, a bullet over the middle. It's caught at the 17 by Brown. Akari Brown spins it forward as he picks up 15 through the air.
No, and that's what a receiver, that's a big time. That's Justin Jefferson-like when you're able to extend in your body from your frame, outside of your frame, and use your hands like he does to frame it and take the hit from the safety coming down. That's a big-time catch from Akari Brown, who we've mentioned the last 2 weeks all over the field as a safety. Nice to see him get a shot as a receiver.
From Carl Barnes, that was a D-A-R-T dart.
And if Barnes is going to make throws like this, good luck beating Bennett.
2nd and 12. Barnes, handoff, Valentine, right side, tripped up by Anderson as he got the handoff at the 16-yard line. He gains maybe 1. 3rd down and 11 for Bennett.
That, to me, how this game ends and finishes, that play right there to Brown, I think Jamestown will look back on and say that was our missed opportunity.
This is that middle 8 you always talk about. Crucial for Bennett to score if they want to increase their chances of winning.
Goes both ways. And if Bennett can get this in, there should really be no excuses for them not to finish off when you go up 2 scores like that.
3rd and 11. Handoff Valentine, right side, breaks the tackle of the Andre Graham. He gets hit at the right side at the 15. Stopped after a gain of 4. 4th down and long for Bennett.
Nice job by Graham to almost have a negative play. Valentine shows his ability to get through that tackle. Good job by Jamestown to be ready to make the gang tackle.
Jimmy Valentine so strong in the lower body to lift his feet out of that tackle. He was grabbed by the ankles of Graham. 4th down and 8 at the 13-yard line. Carl Barnes, pump fakes, rolls to his right, getting chased by Graham, stands on the sideline, throws over the middle. It's caught at the 1 by Akari Brown, and a flag comes out as well. Brown caught it up and over Jada Foreman. Flag came out during the catch.
Akari Brown, once again, I'm not going to... it's a compliment to say Justin Jefferson again, but he did the same thing that Jefferson does where he uses his size and length and his frame to make the catch outside of his body and away from the defender. Here's the penalty.
Scott Fish, it's a hit to the head against Jamestown. Jada Foreman was the man in coverage for the red and green.
The frustrating part for Jamestown there is the initial Barnes wanted to make a throw, pumped it because Jamestown had good coverage, and then it turns into a broken play. Who can make the play? Brown does. Nice job by Barnes to extend it. Brown in traffic. Akari Brown on that drive. Big time plays.
On the goal line, 1st and goal, handoff, Valentine, touchdown! Jimmy Valentine, 2-score lead for the Bennett Tigers once again. 20-7 with 8:33 to go in the 3rd quarter.
So Eskridge and Valentine start that drive with their playmaking ability, and the guys, we know they're going to make plays. But Akari Brown on that is the reason that drive ends up in the end zone. He's the MVP of that possession, in my opinion. Nice to see a player like Akari Brown step up like we know he does on defense. He just showed his ability as a receiver.
2-point conversion attempt for Bennett. Pitch right side. Hampton cuts to the middle. He is hit down low. Stopped shy of the goal line by Angel Martinez. 20-7, the score in favor of the Bennett Tigers over the Jamestown Red and Green with 8:33 to go in the 3rd quarter. Scoring update brought to you by Mr. Goodbar, your home for away games on Elmwood Avenue. So that makes it 3 straight scoring drives, Jim, where the team has needed to convert a 4th down to score. Bennett just did, and they earn their dessert, if you will, with the touchdown for Jimmy Valentine, his 20th of the season on the ground. Jimmy Valentine gives Bennett the 2-score lead.
Yeah, and I think that's situations dictate your fourth down decision. Fourth and short in high school football, I can't imagine anybody's punting. When you have this style of running backs and this quality of play, now obviously every team's there. Now we're in the playoffs. Win or lose or go home, don't punt.
The Denny's kickoff, a squib to the near side. Off the hands of Nate Sanchez at the 36. He spins away from one as he crosses the 30-yard line. Tackle made at the 36 by Akari Brown. What a half number 5 in orange is having for Bennett.
Yeah, he's in his zone. He was in it last week on defense. He's in on both sides of the ball now. He knows it. To have your safety feeling like that, that's a nice thing right now.
Jamestown football at their own 31. The first drive of this second half for the red and green. 8:26 to go in the third, trailing by 2 scores. It's a run on 1st and 10 for Bonta, right side, maybe a yard. Nasir Tillman, the defensive end for Bennett, makes the stop. I wonder what that conversation was like in the Bennett locker room at halftime. The last time they won a sectional championship was 2023. The third of 3 straight sectional titles. They lost last year in the semifinal, Bennett did, to this Jamestown team. 2nd down and 9 for Jamestown. Fake of the give for Bonta. Gray airs it out. Left side for Kreuzer. Incomplete. No flag. Kreuzer was one-on-one with Dante Parker, and Gray's pass missed him by a few yards. 3rd and 9.
Yeah, they weren't necessarily on the same page. You'd like to see Gray just let that thing rip, air it out, let the receiver go make a play. It was kind of just a jump ball, overthrow. You can't give the officials not going to throw anything there when the throw is off like that.
3rd down and 9. Gray scans right to left, throws the screen far side. It's picked. Nyree Feaster intercepts it for Bennett. Takes it across the 20 where he's brought down by Watson. Nyree Feaster. The celebration to boot. And a flag comes out during the celebration. Nyree Feaster, his 2nd pick of the season.
Beautiful instincts by Feaster. A screen set up by Jamestown. It was a beautifully designed play. Feaster slips through the blocks, picks the ball up with great instincts and vision and hands to finish the pick. We talk about Feaster these last 2 weeks. It's Feaster, Akari Brown. It's not just the cast of characters like Eskridge and Valentine. These guys are difference makers on defense as well. Feaster's as good as a player as we've seen on defense this year. I don't know if I've seen a more impactful player. Ridgway from Health always pops in my mind of the guys we've seen personally. But wow.
That linebacker spot. We've seen some good linebackers.
And Bonta too. And, yeah.
Yep. Feaster at the top of that list. This Bennett team can go as far as they want, it seems, in the state playoff, but this could hurt them. Penalty yardage after the play. Now this drive to start at the Jamestown 34. It's a run for Valentine. Left side, he gets 5 yards.
Isaiah Watson with the tackle there coming down the line. Nice play to wrap up. But Bennett now just gets back into their flow. Do what you do. Mix up Valentine, mix in Hampton. Take your shot when you're ready. But it's their game now. They're in complete control.
2nd and 5 at the 29. Valentine right side, cuts right, then left. A flag comes out behind the run as Valentine picks up 3. Jimmy Valentine over 100 yards rushing tonight with a touchdown on 16 carries. Scott Fish getting his workout in the second half, relaying the signals. Another hold on the Bennett Tigers. Unofficially, I've got that at 5 penalties on Bennett so far tonight.
That has to get cleaned up if they win this game advance moving forward. You don't want penalties. That's how you don't want to ever go out that way with penalties.
15th year head coach Steve McDuffie knows that it could end a team's season with penalties. He suffered that back in 2023 at Christian Brothers Academy of Syracuse. when they lost in the state semifinal on the road out in Section 3. A timeout now called by the Bennett Tigers, their first of this second half before the 2nd and 15 play. Jack Kreuzer and Jim Monis with you. Next week, the Far West Regionals are being held at the home of the Bennett Tigers, Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium in Buffalo. The games begin Friday at 5 p.m. when Mac Capon and the Newfane Panthers take on the winner of Section 5's Notre Dame Batavia or Avon. After that, McKinley will play at their home stadium against Brighton or East World of Inquiry from Rochester. Those games out in Section 5 being decided as we speak tonight. Next Saturday, November 22nd, in the Far West Regional at noon, Class C will be Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton representing Section 6 against the winner of, and get ready for these school names, Jims, all these combined schools down in Class C. It'll be against the winner of Alexander Pembroke or Letchworth Warsaw Perry in Class C next week on Saturday. More on that as we move along. 2nd down and 15 at the 39. Ball comes out. Barnes lost it. Fallen on beyond the 40-yard line. Bennett, after that timeout, frazzled. 3rd down and long.
Snap was high. Barnes tried to jump, catch it, and get the play, handoff. When you try to speed up, that's what happens. Jamestown missed opportunity.
Bennett looking to cash in after the interception of Nairi Feaster ended the first drive for Jamestown of this second half. 3rd down and 16 at the 40. Barnes rolls to his left. The righty keeps the ball in his right hand, now tucks it in the left as he gets across the 35, reaches as he gets out of bounds, and a penalty marker is thrown on the near sideline. Tyson Johnson is upset. Scott Fish comes over to talk to the linesman on the near side who threw the flag.
Johnson was coming back trying to make he made a big time block.
So block in the back against Bennett. That'll back them up even more. That's 3 penalties on this drive alone. Bennett moving the wrong way. Third down and long becomes 3rd and longer. A net loss of 3 yards on the play. They replay the down. 3rd and 16. Check that, make it 3rd and 19 at the 43. Barnes wants to air it out. Steps up in the pocket, throws to the left side. It is tipped. Tipped again and incomplete. Looking to the near side for Akari Brown. And both players shaken up on the play. Jada Foreman, the opposite number 5, lies down for Jamestown at the 25-yard line, reeling in pain.
Barnes rolling to his right, flushed out, tries to make something happen, throws across his body a little bit, jump ball type play. Foreman almost makes a nice play, which would have been a nice little game changer, momentum swinger for Jamestown to get back in it. You know, Foreman's a big play receiver for them. On offense that they don't use much, but I was just checking out. He has 3 touchdowns, 6 catches, but 3 of them were touchdowns, 26 yards a catch, which tells you he's capable of making that interception.
And Jada Foreman put out there on defense in the second half, perhaps to help out Jericho Thagard at safety, getting beat a few times in that first half. Let's take another look at the road to the championship game in Class AA. Bennett dominated Lancaster last week, 52-13. The game got out of hand early in the first half. A wet, rainy night. 3 fumbles started the game, and then Bennett scored on their preceding 4 drives, and Lancaster could not keep up with a few interceptions in there as well. For Bennett, how crucial do you think that bye week was for them?
I mean, they showed that they needed it. They came out ready. They look ready all the time. I mean, this team, they know where they want to go. They've been here before. You can tell that they're prepared. Bye weeks are good for everybody.
Jada Foreman back up and on his feet. He walks under his own power to the Jamestown sideline on the near side. After the incomplete pass broken up by Foreman, who walks solo to the bench to sit down. Perhaps that's right where the Bills offense sits, on those same benches on the near side. 4th and 18 for Bennett at the Jamestown 43, and they're lined up to punt with Carl Barnes. He just gets it away in front of Lou Diaz. It tails out of bounds at the 26-yard line on the near sideline. A net gain of, 15 yards on that for the Bennett punt. I know you're big against punts at the high school level.
That hurts. That hurts. You can go for it on that one. I just don't know what that 15 yards does for you, but that's something I'm going to have to learn in the offseason with high school football.
That's a big stop for the Jamestown defense, though. I mean, it was a lot of penalties against Bennett. Nonetheless, Jamestown takes the ball 1st and 10 from their own 26. A run for Bonta on the right side gets a couple. So far this second half, touchdown run for Bennett, capped off a 4-minute drive that went 62 yards. Valentine with the score. Interception for Jamestown, punt for Bennett. Now Jamestown gets the ball back again. 5.5 to go in this third quarter. Jamestown with 2 spread to the left, 1 wide to the right. Bont to the running back, handoff to him, left side, stiff arm off of 1. Lowers the shoulder between 2. Tigers at the 30. Moves ahead for a few yards to bring up 3rd and short. 3rd down, 4 to go for Jamestown. Chase Bonta, one of the few running backs at the high school level in Western New York, Jim, to not shy away from contact as he gets to the edge. It's almost like he wants to run through a guy.
Yeah, he's looking for it, and there's no question. But Nasir Johnson, Jason Hargrove, they're looking for it as well. They're matching it right now. They're making him earn those yards on this drive.
Jason Hargrove, sophomore linebacker, 3rd year on varsity. Handoff Bonta, right side, lowers the shoulder again. Maybe got 2 yards on the right. The 3-year starting running back, Chase Bonta, with the weight on his shoulders right now, and Jamestown is going to punt this football from their own 34-yard line, facing 4th and 2, or at least they line up to. Jericho Thagard with Jack Eskridge to return for Bennett. 4th and 2 at their own 34. A 3 and out for the Jamestown offense, and it is a clean punt from Thagard. It bounces at the 40 and rolls all the way to the 25-yard line, where it nestles between the hashes. 3:47 to go in the third quarter. 3 and out for Jamestown, not what Tom Langworthy needed there.
And I always say with 4th down, like I said, you need to exhaust all your options before you punt, in my opinion. And when it's 4th and short, and you're Jamestown with that type of running back field that all year you've been, in this type of game, I just don't know why you don't want to try to go for that. Good punt. I get it, but you're down 13. It's like, I don't know. That's different philosophies. No right or wrong answer.
1st and 10 for Bennett at their own 25. Tight formation with Eskridge alone to the top. Handoff Valentine. He goes up and over the line and then gets hit while he was in the air by Bonta. Valentine gets aided back to his feet and walks off to the sideline. Out comes Dontre Hampton. No gain, 2nd and 10. This Jamestown defense, I think with that punt, Jim, Tom Langworthy is signaling to his team he's expecting a turnover at some point from this defense that has 15 interceptions on the season. 2nd and 10, Hampton right side. He turns the corner at the sideline and gets upfield across the 35. A 1st down for Hampton on a run for 11. Well, they're not going to be able to pick the ball off if it's in the hands of Dontre Hampton.
What we've seen the last 2 weeks with Hampton, if Bennett's able to win this game moving forward, the team's playing Bennett, they haven't known about Hampton like he was earlier in the year. He is now officially a big-time weapon to go along with Valentine and Eskridge. I'm telling you, they are clicking right now on offense.
1st and 10 at the 36, up the middle, no gain. Bonta just hammered the linebacker, Hampton. In the hole, it's a gain of 1.
And saying that about them clicking on offense, they're hurting themselves with their penalties, and they're their own worst enemy right now. So if they can clean the penalties up, I think the points will come.
The penalties weren't an issue for Bennett back in 2022 when they won the New York State Championship in Class AA. They were loaded with talent. Jameer Thomas now playing at Syracuse, along with former Bennett Tiger on that same team, Rashard Perry. Valentine the give on 2nd and 9, stopped by Lou Diaz. He went to the left, and the senior linebacker Diaz makes the stop. 3rd down and 9 for this Bennett offense, which has seemingly stalled out in this second half. And now Eskridge is down again. This time looks to be cramping as the coaching staff comes out to help him stretch. Timeout on the field, 1:52 to go in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 9. Ball at the 37-yard line. Will step aside on BTPM's Friday Night Lights, presented by Villa Maria College.
Visit Villa Maria College and discover what it means to be a Viking. Come see the energy, teamwork, and pride that makes the Villa Vikings unstoppable. Schedule your tour at visit.villa.edu.
Listen to BTPM Classical wherever you are on the BTPM Listen app. Find it in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.
Listen to BTPM NPR wherever you are on the BTPM Listen app. Find it in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.
Listen to Buffalo Toronto Public Media The Bridge wherever you are. Search for the BTPM Listen app on all your devices.
Buffalo Toronto Public Media has new and innovative ways to generate revenue for your business. We have a robust menu of digital features that can help your business grow. Contact Bill Saurer at 716-845-7000.
The home of the Buffalo Bills has been the home of Section 6 championship football for 46 years. Tonight, the final game at Highmark Stadium as we know it for Section 6. The Bennett Tigers with a 20-7 lead with 1:50 to go in the 3rd quarter face 3rd down and 9 at the 37. Under center, Barnes fakes the give, rolls to his right, throws the short pass, and it's incomplete. Intended for Nyree Feaster. Alaric Richards was in coverage for Jamestown. Now 4th and 9 for Bennett, who is forced to punt.
I thought that play was designed. I thought Barnes was going to take a shot. It looked like Akari Brown was going down the sideline. I thought it was going to be an interesting, I wanted to see that play. I wanted to see him lock and load that throw.
It's interesting. Barnes seems more accurate the further down the field he throws.
Strong arm. Sometimes it's a little easier to let it go.
Barnes to punt on 4th and 9 for Bennett. Thagard to receive. A high kick, sideways spin, takes a hop at the 43 and rolls inside the 35-yard line where it's downed by the Bennett Tigers. Antoine Harris down there to touch it. 1:27 to go in the 3rd quarter. That's 3 straight punts. Bennett with 2 of them. This Jamestown defense making plays when they need to. And the play calling for Steve McDuffie, perhaps trying to figure out something new to work on this Jamestown defense.
Yeah, I mean, Jamestown's offense is really what hasn't showed up in the second half to kind of help out. I mean, they gave up the big play early in the second half, but then have really settled down.
Fake of the give for Gray on 1st down. Throw over the middle. It is intercepted. Tyson Johnson picks it off for Bennett. He was looking the wrong way and still made the grab. On his feet across the 25 inside the hashes. Down at midfield at the 22-yard line. What a pick from Tyson Johnson.
What I talked about Tyson Johnson last week was his physicality as a corner. He comes down, he makes hits too. He fought, but for him to track this ball and stab it like that out of the air, it looked like that was going to be complete. He tracked it so well. That was Josh Norman's style. The old corner for the Carolina Panthers had outstanding ball skills. Tyson tracked that, snatched it right away. It looked like that was going to be Jamestown 6.
His 4th interception of the season, giving him the lead on this Bennett defense as a team. That's their 11th pick of the year. 1st and 10 for Bennett. Barnes wants to throw from the 22. Middle of the end zone, touchdown. Jack Eskridge makes the grab, his third score in the sectional title game.
He just put a beautiful type jerk juke route at the top of his route to freeze. He freezes Thagard and just shakes him with a little head nod. Beautiful touch by Barnes. Threw it to a spot. The timing of it was nice, but Eskridge's route running, you have to worry about his speed, but the way he can stack Thagard up, gives him a little head nod, stacks him with his body, goes up and high points the ball, complete receiver.
2-point attempt. Barnes is stopped, swallowed up by Isaiah Watson, and then Watson did the old Allen Iverson step over like he did on Ty Lue while Barnes is still down. No flag was thrown. Barnes is still hurt, lying on his back at the 13-yard line. What a pass to Jack Eskridge. And I think to the point I made just a few plays ago, better accuracy with distance down the field.
He threw a touch on that as well. I mean, he really did look comfortable throwing that ball, to your point.
26-7 the score. Bennett the lead, and the fans of Bennett just let the Boo Birds rain down on Isaiah Watson and the Jamestown Red and Green, with Barnes still hurt. I'm shocked there was no flag that came out on that, Jim.
No, it looked close to being after the whistle. There's certainly.
It was certainly after the whistle. That was the step over. I mean, was.
So
seemed to be a little uncalled for.
You saw it better than I did, and I agree. If that was the case, I'm surprised there was not a flag thrown for that.
Maybe I saw it wrong. Well, a quick thank you to all of those who helped out in our production of Remembering the Ralph, the segments that aired during the pregame show presented by Rigidized Metals Corporation. Tom Goddard, Dick Domenico, Mike Fata, Ty Harper, Casey Kaz, and Kurt Fisher, all legends in Section 6 high school football. Set for the Denny's kickoff. Booted to the near side, and Thagard catches it at the 22. Up midfield, he skirts past one defender, and Thagard has a lane to the left side. Here goes Jericho Thagard across midfield for Jamestown into the 20. Jericho Thagard just stepped out of bounds. He thought he was home free. Thagard out at the 31-yard line. Jericho Thagard, fireworks.
Thagard and Eskridge just doing great jobs for both their teams tonight as return men and big play guys that they are, showing up in the big game. That was close to being what they needed, though. That was close to getting sprung to the end zone, stepped out.
Thagard really tightrope that sideline. Had it not been in front of the Bennett Tigers on the bench, maybe the reaction would be a little different, but the Bennett Tigers were quick to point out that Thagard had stepped out at the 31. That's where the Jamestown drive begins, in a gotta-have-it drive with 54 seconds to go in the third quarter. At the plus 31, 1st and 10, handoff, Bonta. Left side gets maybe 5 to the 26-yard line.
Quick score here, or a score in general. I mean, we have a ball game again, so this is, Jamestown needs this. Really, they really deserve this. They played a really good half. They've only given up a couple big plays in the second half that really have, on defense, but offensively they just can't get anything going.
2nd and 5. Bonta left side moves forward as he chugs across the 25. 3rd down and short for Jamestown. And even Jackson Gray, on their last drive, the interception wasn't an awful pass. It was an unbelievable pick from Tyjon Johnson.
I agree. That was probably his best throw we've seen him make. It was touch. It looked like it had the perfect accuracy on it, and Johnson just stabbed it right out of the air.
Third quarter comes to a close, 26-7. Bennett the lead over Jamestown with 2 touchdowns in this third quarter. The Bennett Tigers are in the driver's seat to be the final sectional champion in Highmark Stadium history. We'll find out if the Tigers can close it out or if Jamestown can mount a comeback after this on BTPM's Friday Night Lights.
Support for BTPM comes from our members and from Rigidized Metals Corporation. Rigidized Metals proudly supports its customers, the community, engineers, designers, and architects across the world.
BTPM's Friday Night Lights, in partnership with Section 6, is presented by Villa Maria College, advancing educational opportunity for all of Western New York. Friday Night Lights is supported by our members and by the WNED Foundation Incorporated. Mr. Goodbar, your headquarters for watching away games on Elmwood Avenue. Denny's, America's Diner is always open. Brighton Liquor and Wine, 930 Brighton Road in Tonawanda. And by SEI. SEI proudly supports the WNED Foundation.
Do you love theater? Can't get enough of Broadway shows? Join Buffalo Toronto Public Media this January in New York City for Just in Time, Operation Mincemeat, Buena Vista Social Club, The Play That Goes Wrong, and The Queen of Versailles. Show tickets, hotel, travel, and select meals are included. Space is limited, so don't delay. January 19th through the 23rd. Visit btpm.org/travel.
Each month, BTPM Classical brings the music off the airwaves and onto the stage. Our live on-stage concerts feature world-class performances and intimate conversations with the artists, all for free at Buffalo Toronto Public Media. Sign up for the next concert at btpm.org/events and watch previous performances on the BTPM YouTube channel.
Friday Night Lights reaches parents, grandparents, and students. Your message can be seen and heard on radio, TV, apps, and social media. Discover what Friday Night Lights can do for your business. Call Bill Saurer at 716-845-7000.
Welcome to Highmark Stadium. Fourth quarter set to begin. Jack Kreuzer and Jim Onis with you on Friday Night Lights, presented by Villa Maria College on Buffalo Toronto Public Media. Thanks for joining us this Friday night. The final game of sectional championship history at Highmark Stadium. The Ralph, more colloquially known. 26-7 the lead for Bennett over Jamestown as we begin the fourth quarter. All-purpose yards right here, Jim. 295 for Bennett, 105 for Jamestown. What does that say to you?
It matches 26-7 score in the fourth quarter. It really does. Jamestown just hasn't been able to match just the dominance that Bennett's offense had. Jamestown's offense hasn't been able to match that.
Third down and 3 to go for the Jamestown offense to begin this fourth quarter of play. At the Bennett 24. Handoff for Bonta, the battering Ram, gets the first down, stays on his feet inside the 15, down to the 12. Tackled by Dante Parker. Chase Bonta keeps the drive alive for Jamestown. Their drive so far this second half, 2 interceptions and a punt. Jackson Gray hadn't thrown a pick since week 4 entering tonight. 2 tonight bring his total on the season up to 5. A reason for the ground and pound style for Jamestown. First and 10 at the 11. Handoff Bonta, left side, lowers the shoulder, gets to the 10. Stopped by Tony Peebles, the 6', 225 D tackle for the Bennett Tigers.
Jamestown needed more from, right now it's just Bonta. They needed more from Richards. They needed more from Thaggart on offense. Or could you get Jada Foreman involved on offense? They just needed somebody else right now. It's strictly Bonta.
A gain of 3 brings up second down and 7 at the 10. Bonta up the middle, gets stuffed backward. He tried to crash in and create some commotion, but the defense for Bennett, Sharon Young on the stop. Tyson Johnson in there as well. What a two-way player Johnson has become his junior season.
Could say that for multiple Bennett players, two-way players, Hampton, Feaster,
Jimmy Valentine,
Corey Brown. I mean, seriously.
Jason Hargrove.
It goes, they're all just contributors, both sides. Oh.
Third down and 9, and Bonta is thrown down by Jason Hargrove. No gain, it's a loss maybe. All right, back to the line of scrimmage for Bonta. Fourth down now, and This feels like the game for Jamestown. 10 minutes to go in the fourth. 4th and 9. 4th and 7 at the 10.
Big boy tackle by Hargrove, physical.
Thagard one-on-one atop the screen. And a timeout called by Tom Langworthy, and Jamestown, the 18-year head coach, Tom Langworthy, has a state championship ring on his hand. They had a miracle in week 3 in their come-from-behind win over Lancaster. They were down 33-18, and they ended up winning, or 26-18, I beg your pardon. In the final 2 minutes, they ended up coming back to win it 33-26 over Lancaster. There was a little bit of magic that night in Jamestown, New York at Strider Field. Tonight, the energy feels a little different given Bennett and their success in getting stops defensively on the ground that Lancaster perhaps wasn't able to do in the second half of that game against Jamestown in week 3. 4th down and 8. Could be the ball game at the 10-yard line. Jackson Gray in the gun. The sophomore scans, delivers left side, incomplete. Intended for Josiah Cruz on the slant from the left, and the sophomore didn't place it in a catchable area. Turnover on downs against Jamestown, and Bennett is on their way. Up 26-7 with 9:42 to go in the ball game.
They were trying to work a one-on-one screen with Cruz against Tyzon Johnson, and Tyzon Johnson was sticky coverage all over it. That is how you play the corner position. He has made 2 textbook plays at corner tonight. Very impressed with Tyzon Johnson, his coverage and tackling.
1st and 10 at their own 10-yard line for Bennett. Only thing that could hurt him here is a turnover. It's a pitch pass. Eskridge makes 2 men miss as he cuts from right to left, and he stays on his feet. Here goes Jack Eskridge. Big playability. Block from Brown, and Eskridge has so much daylight. Turn the clock forward, Eskridge. Touchdown. His 4th of the championship. 90 yards to pay dirt for number 0.
The Section 6 Tyreek Hill, in my opinion, in 2 weeks. The Bills could use him on Sunday at this point. If you need offense, Eskridge is your man. It's returns, it's pitch passes, it's go routes. He is just a complete weapon. He can make you miss. He can run away from you. I think the best way I said this to you, Jack, was Bennett has a lot of very good football players. They are just tough, athletic, fast, explosive, size, complete football team.
2-point conversion attempt, Bennett, as Jamestown fans head for the exits. 9:24 to go in the 4th. Handoff, Valentine snuffed out. 32-7, the lead for the Bennett Tigers over the Jamestown Red and Green, and it was the make-you-miss ability from Eskridge before he took off down the sideline that was most impressive, but then the speed, terrific, and enough time to high-five with Tyzon Johnson before crossing the goal line.
Yeah, that was mostly Eskridge. That wasn't one of those how you draw it up. That was him finding ways to make people miss, get to the sideline, and then use his speed out, run everybody. Jamestown had a couple angles on him. Speed wins.
The Bennett Tiger faithful going crazy. Jack Eskridge, MVP moment. 4 touchdowns in the sectional title game.
Hampton last week. Eskridge this week. Talented playmakers. Put on a show.
Valentine's turn next week in the Far West Regional.
Yeah, you could pick one. You never know. It could be Akari Brown the way he was showing. I mean, his ability too. If he gets more opportunities, these guys, there's just plenty of playmakers.
Set for the Denny's kickoff. Denny's, America's Diner, is always open. Squib kick up the middle, 2 hops Scooped up far side. Nate Sanchez at the 35. And the Tigers rally to the football. 9:18 to go in the ball game. The Bennett Tigers on their way to what might be their 5th Section 6 championship in program history, all in the last decade. It was a long road for the Bennett Tigers at this stadium and Coach Steve McDuffie. They lost twice before winning the title in 3 different classifications. They lost in Class B to Cheektowaga in 2014. In 2015, they lost to Chautauqua Lake Maple Groves combination in a stunning upset in Class C, as the 1st and 10 handoff for Jamestown's Bonta goes nowhere. What a stop from the Bennett Tigers. Reserve D lineman Daquan Coolidge. The senior at 6'3", 285, went toe-to-toe with Bonta. A flag came out during the run, and it's against the Bennett Tigers.
A lot of chirping now.
And this was a hefty penalty. Personal foul puts Jamestown in offensive territory at the 49. First and 10 for Jamestown at the 48-yard line of Bennett. Jackson Gray airs it out near side, picked off. Tyson Johnson makes the grab. A flag is down where he picked it off. Johnson, a highlight reel of his own.
Ooh.
Across the field to the 40. Johnson got taken down from behind. He's fired up. This flag still sits back at the 25-yard line. You mentioned it, Jim. Now things are getting chippy as the game is out of hand. This is where Scott Fish and his crew step in to police.
Johnson showed the ball skills, the speed that we saw in the previous pick. He does it again.
Let's see if this stands. The flag was thrown during the return. And it is a defensive hold on the Bennett Tigers. The chain crew has not moved. The ball has already been marked back to the 40-yard line. That's where the return of Johnson ended. Let's see a replay on BTPM PBS. Says Scott Fish's crew resolves the issue.
Yeah, hold should be pretty basic here. I guess they're trying to find the exact yard marker where the hold was. Yeah.
It was on Josiah Cruz. That was the intended target anyway, and Johnson was the perpetrator. But this is the negative side of no replay review, no challenge flags at the high school level, Jim. You don't have replay assist to call down and tell the officials where they were spotted.
Yeah.
So the hold before the pick will bring this ball way back inside Bennett territory. Marched off from the line of scrimmage, which was the 48-yard line. And that 10-yard penalty will end up keeping Jamestown's offense on the field and keep Jackson Gray's sheet a bit cleaner without his 3rd interception tonight. 1st and 10 for Jamestown after all of that at the Bennett 38. Down 32-7. The number 3 seed handoff. Bonta makes a guy miss at the 25. Gets down to the 20. Was a nifty move he put on Carl Barnes in open space. Chase Bonta, I didn't know he could get jiggy like that.
It was impressive for Bonta to do that. He squared him up, made a miss. Great hustle by Hampton to make the tackle down the field. But you're right, Bonta looked like he was going to finish that, and we're used to him just running people over.
He looked like you on the dance floor.
Hey, you got to be able to go
1-2 side to side.
You got to get a little shake, a little shimmy.
1st and 10 at the 20. Handoff to Bonta on the right side across the 15. Gain of 6. 8:10 to go in the 4th quarter. Bennett 32, Jamestown 7. Your score brought to you by Mr. Goodbar, your home for away games on Elmwood Avenue. We invite you to stick around for the post-game show brought to you by Villa Maria College. Second down give. Bonta left side, breaks free across the 5. He's spun down to the turf by Valentine. Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. This is BTPM's Friday Night Lights.
This is Chase Bonta from Jamestown. You're listening to Friday Night Lights on BTPM, NPR, WBFO, and WBFO HD1 Buffalo. WUBJ Jamestown, WOLN Olean, a service of Buffalo Toronto Public Media.
Well, it's Chase Bonta. Lets you know where you're listening on BTPM NPR. He gets the handoff. Multi-talented Chase Bonta. Glad we could get him mic'd up for this game. All joking aside, he gets a couple yards on 1st and goal. Second down and goal at the 3 now for Bonta. And Jamestown Red and Green working toward the scoreboard end zone at Highmark Stadium. Bonta, 3-year varsity starter. Gets the give, hit in the backfield. Tony Peebles made the stop. He blew it up. 3rd and goal. No run has been easy for Jamestown tonight. Chase Bonta on the ground tonight. He's at 131 rushing yards. Needs just 2 more to eclipse 4,000 in his career. At the 3-yard line, this could be it. Chase Bonta, the tailback, pitch near side. Bonta lowers the shoulder, fights for yardage across the 4 as he got hit by Johnson. Down right at the line of scrimmage at the 3 again, no gain. Chase Bonta's been a workhorse. 43 carries last week. That was his 32nd tonight.
Ties on Johnson. Physical. We talked about it at corner. I tell you, he has that ability to make play, tackle as a corner. He can run away from you, ball skills. Complete.
Tyson Johnson might be the most underrated corner in Western New York. For just what you said, he can do everything. 4th and goal at the 3. Hand off to Bonta. Left side, keeps the legs moving, spins, reaches across the goal line, touchdown. Chase Bonta eclipses 4,000 career rushing yards on that touchdown at Highmark Stadium. The 3-year varsity starter, Chase Bonta, gets into the end zone. 32-13. The score, the lead for Bennett remains. Jamestown cuts into it with history from Bonta. Evan Maloney to kick the extra point for the Bennett Tigers. They are still on their way to sectional championship glory. Maloney, the kick for Jamestown, is through. 32-14 the score in favor of the Bennett Tigers. Jamestown with their 2nd touchdown of this game. There is the record setter, Chase Bonta. Another look at yards to cross 4,000 in his 3-year varsity career, and the touchdown tonight. 2 this evening, up to 28 this season. Chase Bonta, the 3rd all-time 4,000-yard rusher in Jamestown program history. That features some pretty darn good running backs at Jamestown. Aaron Leeper at the top of that list. Graduate in the year of 2000. Bonta, the workhorse last week, just not enough for Bennett tonight. As this Bennett defense was all over Jamestown, forcing Jackson Gray to make passes, and Gray unable to do so in the big moments. Set for the Denny's kickoff. Denny's, America's Diner, is always open. 5:45 to go in the 4th quarter. Denny's, America's Diner, is always open. The kick fielded right between the 2 returners. This is all the way down inside the 5 at the 2. Eskridge picks it up, takes a peek at what he's got, takes off and gets hit at the 10-yard line. That's where the Bennett drive will begin. Well, the Bennett Tigers will cap off this weekend of sectional championships as the 5th and final sectional champ in the final year of sectional championship football games at Highmark Stadium. 32-14, they lead. At their own 10-yard line, last time Bennett had this starting position, it was their last drive, 90-yard touchdown for Jack Eskridge. 5:41 to go in the game. It's a handoff. Hampton left side. He gets 3. Jamestown Red and Green fought with all their might tonight and all season long to win 5 straight after losing to Bennett in week 5. They made it all the way to Highmark Stadium, but just not enough tonight as Gray couldn't be the playmaker. Really, they needed to beat Bennett.
No, and you can't feel any certain way. You were beat tonight. This team is complete. They're loaded all over the place. Bennett has shown every phase that makes them strong and why they're here.
Handoff left side. Oh, what a big hit at the end of the run for Dontre Hampton. It was Bonta on the receiving end. Hampton picks up a first down after a gain of about 20.
Yeah, Hampton, that's his style. He's a straight ahead. That's how he is. He's physical, straight ahead. He's not giving up. As far as he's going to finish strong. They're not just going to go 3 and out.
1st and 10 for Bennett at their own 32. Handoff for Hampton once again. Well, next week, the Bennett Tigers will take on the winner of Penfield and Pittsford out in Section 5 for the Class AA Far West Regional. That'll be next Saturday night at All High Stadium, the home of the Bennett Tigers, right behind their high school at 6 p.m. next Saturday. 2nd down and 9 for Bennett with under 4 minutes to go in the ball game, up 32-14. Barnes under center, working left to right. Handoff Jimmy Valentine. He wants a highlight. He runs into the arms of Isaiah Watson. Gain of about 6 on the ground for Valentine. For Isaiah Watson, the 6'3" senior defensive end wraps up his 3rd year as a starter for the Jamestown Red and Green defense. Team that will end their season with a 7-4 record with their heads held high. For the Bennett Tigers, however, going perfect against Section 6 opponents this year. Remarkable. 3rd down and 2 from the 40 for Bennett on their own side of the field. Barnes gives it. Hampton near side. His neon green cleats go with speed across the 45. He lowers the shoulder and rocks Angel Martinez at the end of the run at the 40-yard line out of bounds. Martinez is back up, but a flag came out at the end. Let's take another look on BTPM PBS. This run from Hampton, impressive to the side when he gets space, takes off. An unnecessary hit at the end of the play, but it didn't seem malicious in any way. The flag is picked up, and I think for good reason, from Scott Fish and his crew. 2:32 to go in the ball game. Bennett the lead, 32-14 over Jamestown. The Bennett Tigers had their streak of 3 straight sectional championships ended last season at the hands of the Jamestown Red and Green. This is sweet revenge for Bennett. Running the clock. Valentine gets the handoff on 1st and 10 at the 40, spins his way to the 30, and gets the first down at the 29. Jimmy Valentine, Dontre Hampton, Jack Eskridge, terrific for Bennett this evening. Hampton, the only one of those big three to not get in the end zone. Eskridge, MVP type of night. 4 touchdowns for the Bennett Tigers. 3 receiving, 1 punt return touchdown. 1st and 10 for Bennett at the Jamestown 30 with under 2 minutes to go in the game. And a flag for a delay of game. For Jack Eskridge, 75 yards receiving, 95 on the ground, and Eskridge with that 67-yard punt return touchdown, the key contributor for the Bennett Tigers, and a big reason why they will reign supreme in this AA championship match after the delay of game call is assessed. 1st and 15 from the 35. Victory formation for the Bennett Tigers. The Bennett Tiger fans serenade the Jamestown Red and Green as the fans from Chautauqua County make their way to the exits. Those that stuck around likely aren't parents and family members of those on the field to console the sectional finalists. The Bennett Tigers on the far sideline, they gather up as Jamestown calls timeout. They're second with 1:26 to go in the game. "46 years of history in this stadium." It's really time for everybody to soak in how majestic the feeling is to be a sectional champion at the home of the Buffalo Bills. Wild to think that a year from now, where we stand to call this football game tonight, will be nothing but rubble as all operations are moved across the street. 2nd down run. Valentine gets it right side. He's hit by Lou Diaz. And Diaz is jacked up. He wanted to make a play even though the game's pretty much over. Timeout called by Jamestown. Tom Langworthy doesn't want to go to bed tonight with timeouts still to use. So with 1:20 to go in the 4th quarter, he calls his final timeout. 32-14, the lead for Bennett over Jamestown. As I mentioned earlier, it was a long road for the Bennett Tigers in this stadium, dating back to 2014 when they lost a game to Cheektowaga, leading by a similar score in this one. They led entering the 4th quarter tonight, 26-7. They were up in that game in the 4th quarter in 2014, 28-7. And Cheektowaga scored 5 times in the 4th quarter to beat the Bennett Tigers in the Class B championship on a last-second Hail Mary. The next year, they made it back, moved down to Class C. They were playing Chautauqua Lake Maple Grove. And the Firebirds upset Bennett 22-20 in a stunning win, one of the best all-time games in this stadium's history at the high school level. Bennett finally got sectional glory in 2016. Here's a deep shot for the Tigers, tipped in the air at the 10 on 3rd and 19, incomplete. This is, again, like what we saw at the end of the first half. No need for Bennett to still run these passing plays. A holding call on Bennett. The flag back at the 50-yard line, but a pass interference call on Jamestown. All of that yardage marked off will move Bennett up inside the 30-yard line. All of this is semantics at this point. Bennett is just a minute 12 away from lifting the championship trophy. Hard to believe it'll be calm between the handshake line after this ending. Bennett started to kneel out the clock before Jamestown took their timeouts. Scratch your head moment. Third down and 5 at the 25 after the penalty yardage is marked off against Jamestown. Third and 5 at the 25. Barnes throws a strike far side, nearly broken up, but caught on the far side by McKay Morrison, who makes the grab. At the 23-yard line, it'll set up 4th down and 3. The clock ticking. Just over 40 seconds to go in the ball game. Bennett, they don't necessarily kick field goals. I'd like to see him try one. Be about a 40-yard kick from here. At the 23, 30 seconds to go in the game. Barnes handoff, left side Valentine gets the first down, stays in bounds, goes down, and a flag at the end of the play nonetheless. .20 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Penalty flag at the end of the run. This is all just winding down the clock, which is currently stopped at 20. Bennett does yield some yards at the end of the play, and they're just going to run down the clock. The Bennett Tigers, the final sectional champions at Highmark Stadium. They defeat Jamestown 32-14 to claim the Class AA championship in 2025. Jack Eskridge, MVP night, 4 touchdowns for Bennett. The Tigers get revenge for their semifinal loss to Bennett a year ago, and the handshake line commences. The Bennett Tigers make their way all the way across the field as gentlemen to shake hands with those whom they've defeated. And the Bennett Tigers break through the handshake line to celebrate with their family and friends in the stands on the near side. We'll have interviews with Steve McDuffie, Jack Eskridge, and Jimmy Valentine during our post-game show presented by Villa Maria College. The Bennett Tigers walk through the handshake line as champions, undefeated against Section 6 opponents this year. 9-1 heading into the Far West Regional Championship game next week. For the Jamestown Red and Green, a 7-4 season is how Chase Bonta's career comes to an end at the home of the Buffalo Bills. 32-14, the win for Bennett over Jamestown. And the Tigers have a few words to share with the Jamestown faithful, gesturing basketball shots. Time for basketball season, they're saying to the Jamestown players. There'll be a practice on Monday. But the Bennett Tigers remain on the gridiron. They will advance to the Far West Regional next week and take on the winner of Penfield or Pittsford for the right to advance in the state playoff. The teams line up for the Character Award. We will step aside and return with the championship celebration in just a moment. This is BTPM's Friday Night Lights.
Visit Villa Maria College and discover what it means to be a Viking. Come see the energy, teamwork, and pride that makes the Villa Vikings unstoppable. Schedule your tour at visit.villa.edu.
I'm Sarah Jane, and I'm on a mission to explore the wonders right in our own backyard with Compact Science, a YouTube series from BTPM PBS and the Buffalo Museum of Science. Together, we'll explore the physics of grain elevators, discover how Niagara Falls powers millions of homes, and learn how wings are science on a plate. If you're curious about the world around you, there's a lot to explore, and Compact Science will be your guide. Find us on the Buffalo Toronto Public Media YouTube channel.
At PBS Kids, we're working hard to bring you all your favorite shows anytime you want.
Watch on Spectrum 1276, Fios 473, or 17.3.
The Bennett Tigers victorious over the Jamestown Red and Green, 32-14 the final. Bennett, 5-time Section 6 champions. They defeat Jamestown, getting sweet revenge for last year's semifinal loss. The Bennett Tigers just moments away from receiving the championship plaque. But first, Character Athlete Awards delivered to Andre Graham of Jamestown and Amos Lutette of Bennett. The two linemen went head-to-head all night long, and it's Lutette who gets the Heart of a Champion award for his character displayed throughout tonight. The Bennett Tigers walk away from the trophy presentation. Jamestown still hasn't received their runner-up plaque, and Bennett hasn't received their championship plaque yet either. The Bennett Tigers now called back to the 45-yard line as they've got to wait to receive the championship plaque. Now, when I spoke to Jimmy Valentine a few weeks ago, he told me championship at the Section 6 level is not what the Tigers are concerned about. They want a state championship, as their friends had 3 years ago in 2022. So it makes sense that they forgot that there is a celebration to be had tonight. But certainly, the Bennett Tigers have reason to celebrate. Steve McDuffie receives the championship plaque, and the Tigers, for the 5th time in program history, get to celebrate at Highmark Stadium. What a moment for the Bennett Tigers on the turf the Bills will play on in just 2 days' time. They get to celebrate as Section 6 champs, the final sectional champs in this stadium's 46-year history. Steve McDuffie smiling ear to ear with the arm of Dontre Hampton around him. The Bennett Tigers pose for a team photo as sectional champions. What a night for Jack Eskridge, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for the Bennett defense, Nairi Feaster and Tyzon Johnson. Carl Barnes with a coming out party, 3 passing touchdowns for Bennett. The first 3 of the season for Barnes, and the Tigers get to celebrate as champs. They prove the 14-7 win over Jamestown in Week 5 was no fluke. Jamestown left final 32-14. The Bennett Tigers, they put a beating on Jamestown tonight in the second half, despite the Red and Green having opportunities. At the start of the second half, Bennett came out of halftime up by a score with a 4th down conversion on a drive that ended in a touchdown run for Jimmy Valentine. A couple of interceptions set up the icing on the cake for Eskridge and company to win the 4th sectional championship since 2021. for the Bennett Tigers. Our Leah Jurek will have Steve McDuffie in just a few moments on the post-game show presented by Villa Maria College, your home for cutting-edge majors and unmatched support. Coach McDuffie, before he can talk with our Leah Jurek, has to talk with his squad first. The message from Steve to his team, more about the future of his program. In the next few weeks, Steve McDuffie has stepped away from the huddle. He's with our Leah Jurek right now. Leah?
All right, Coach, your team just won the last Section 6 championship at Highmark. How does it feel?
It feels great, and you know what? I'm really, really proud of the kids. You know, we've been working all year. That what happened to us last year left a bad taste in our mouth. So we came out and we played. We did the best.
Having some technical.
And, I'm just happy for the kids, but we're going to enjoy this today. But once again, we're going to get right back to work tomorrow.
Exactly. Your offense exploded. Your defense was strong. How did you guys find so much success tonight?
Well, I tell you this. It was a team effort by everybody, and I'm just really, really happy the way it worked out.
All right, and you've told me before how meaningful it is to play in Buffalo at this field. Now, how does your performance reflect that pride?
I'm just happy. I'm all smiles right now, but once again, I know we got to get back work to tomorrow.
All right, well, I'll let you go celebrate. Thanks, Coach.
Steve McDuffie, quite proud. The Bennett Tigers win it 32-14, victorious at Highmark Stadium. We'll step aside and continue on with the Villa Maria College post-game show, a full statistical recap of tonight's win for the Bennett Tigers after this on the Villa Maria post-game show on BTPM's Friday Night Lights.
Visit Villa Maria College and discover what it means to be a Viking. Come see the energy, teamwork, and pride that makes the Villa Vikings unstoppable. Schedule your tour at visit.villa.edu.
BTPM's Friday Night Lights, in partnership with Section 6, is presented by Villa Maria College, advancing educational opportunity for all of Western New York. Friday Night Lights is supported by our members and by the WNED Foundation Incorporated. Mr. Goodbar, your headquarters for watching away games on Elmwood Avenue. Denny's, America's Diner is always open. Brighton Liquor and Wine, 930 Brighton Road in Tonawanda. And by SEI. SEI proudly supports the WNED Foundation.
I want to talk to you about the monstrous mythological salamander from antiquity. What does that have to do with civics? Bear with me. Hey people, Corey here with Compact Civics. In 1812, Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry and his party, the Democratic Republicans, hated the other party, the Federalists. Back then, voting districts were determined by the boundaries of a county. Gerry and his buddies took advantage of a loophole that gave them the power to draw up new district lines in favor of their party. The Federalists mocked the most egregious district by illustrating it as a monstrous salamander and tossed Gerry's name on it, and thus gerrymandering was born. This practice became wildly popular throughout history. It undermines voter power and impedes democracy by cherry-picking voters for a desired outcome. Thankfully, it was challenged in 2023 in New York State, and lines had to be redrawn. Next time, we'll talk about how gerrymandering makes representation unfair and directly impacts you.
Support for Buffalo Toronto Public Media's Friday Night Lights comes from our members and from your local Denny's. America's Diner is always open. Denny's salutes Section 6 student athletes, serving you with 18 locations throughout the region.
The Bennett Tigers victorious. They defeat the Jamestown Red and Green 32-14 in the sectional championship. Leah Jurek is down with the MVP, Jack Eskridge.
All right, Jack, how does it feel being a Class AA champion right now?
It feels great being that we came up short last year. We could put through, get a big dub, and it's the last game in a row too, so it feels great.
You were a huge playmaker, 4 touchdowns and a 67-yard punt return touchdown. How did you do it?
You know, every time I touch the ball, I just think end zone, because it could be my last snap, any snap. So every time I touch the ball, I say end zone.
All right, well, I love that mentality. Thank you so much for your time, and go celebrate with your boys.
You know that. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Jack Eskridge. That might be one of my favorite championship interviews we've gotten. Eskridge, one of the MVPs. Jimmy Valentine will hope to get as well for the Bennett Tigers. He had a tremendous night on the ground, but Jack Eskridge, 4 touchdowns for the Bennett Tigers, doing everything. Punt return touchdowns, kickoff. He was a monster through the air. The Bennett Tigers, from start to finish, roll through Jamestown for the win. Leah Jurek's got Jimmy Valentine down with the sectional championship plaque.
All right, you made some huge plays when it mattered most. Talk me through some of those plays.
I just kept my foot on the pedal. I ain't had the best half I had all year. I just know I had to pick up for my team. My team's gonna be here for me, and as long as we keep getting better and better, I promise I'm gonna put my all into them every time.
I love that. And how does it feel playing on this field and closing out the championship with it?
It feels great. It feels great because a lot of people don't even know, but this is my first time ever playing on this field, and it's going to be my last time. But it was a great experience. I love my team. We came out and we dominated. We dominated all day. We just silenced the noise because everybody, one thing about it is they wanted us to lose, but we just silenced the noise. As you can see, we came out with the win.
All right, and what's one word to describe how you're feeling right now?
Man, I'm excited. Man. I'm just so excited because my team really came out here and we put it all on the line, and I just love everybody. And yeah, thank you.
All right, well, enjoy your post-victory. Enjoy this, and go hang out with your team. You're welcome.
Jimmy Valentine, always a great interview. Excited. Yeah, I'd be excited if I was moving on to the Far West Regional as well. The Bennett Tigers undefeated against Section 6 opponents in 2025. They win it. They couldn't have done it without Jimmy Valentine. Thanks to Leah Jurek down on the sideline. We're getting those quotes from the Bennett Tigers. Our player of the game, Jack Eskridge. Hard not to include Jimmy Valentine in that conversation. 32-14, Bennett beats Jamestown in the AA sectional championship game. We'll be back with more on the Villa Maria College post-game show after this.
Visit Villa Maria College and discover what it means to be a Viking. Come see the energy, teamwork, and pride that makes the Villa Vikings unstoppable. Schedule your tour at visit.villa.edu.
I'm Sarah Jane, and I'm on a mission to explore the wonders right in our own backyard with Compact Science, a YouTube series from BTPM PBS and the Buffalo Museum of Science. Together, we'll explore the physics of grain elevators, discover how Niagara Falls powers millions of homes, and learn how wings are science on a plate. If you're curious about the world around you, there's a lot to explore, and Compact Science will be your guide. Find us on the Buffalo Toronto Public Media YouTube channel.
At PBS Kids, we're working hard to bring you all your favorite shows anytime you want.
Watch on Spectrum 1276, FiOS 473, or 17.3.
Support for BTPM comes from our members and from Rigidized Metals Corporation. Rigidized Metals proudly supports its customers, the community, engineers, designers, and architects across the world.
BTPM's Friday Night Lights, in partnership with Section 6, is presented by Villa Maria College, advancing educational opportunity for all of Western New York. Friday Night Lights is supported by our members and by the WNED Foundation Incorporated. Mr. Goodbar, your headquarters for watching away games on Elmwood Avenue. Denny's, America's Diner is always open. Brighton Liquor and Wine, 930 Brighton Road in Tonawanda. And by SEI. SEI proudly supports the WNED Foundation.
Do you love theater? Can't get enough of Broadway shows? Join Buffalo Toronto Public Media this January in New York City for Just in Time, Operation Mincemeat, Buena Vista Social Club, The Play That Goes Wrong, and The Queen of Versailles. Show tickets, hotel, travel, and select meals are included. Space is limited, so don't delay. January 19th through the 23rd. Visit btpm.org/travel.
Each month, BTPM Classical brings the music off the airwaves and onto the stage. Our live on-stage concerts feature world-class performances and intimate conversations with the artists, all for free at Buffalo Toronto Public Media. Sign up for the next concert at btpm.org/events and watch previous performances on the BTPM YouTube channel.
Friday Night Lights reaches parents, grandparents, and students. Your message can be seen and heard on radio, TV, apps, and social media. Discover what Friday Night Lights can do for your business. Call Bill Saurer at 716-845-7000.
Welcome back to Highmark Stadium for the Section 6 Class AA Championship postgame show, brought to you by Villa Maria College, advancing educational opportunity for all of Western New York. Jack Kreuzer with you for the postgame show. Our Jim Monis had to step away, unfortunately, for the latter stages of tonight's contest. Leah Jurek may join us in just a moment. But we want to take a second to look back not only on tonight's big victory for the Bennett Tigers, 32-14, the final for Bennett over Jamestown, but also look back at yesterday's games. If you missed our pregame show or the halftime, let's look back at the other sectional champions from this weekend as the Jamestown Red and Green have one final prayer in the back of the end zone to our left as brothers on the same squad. Their season comes to an end, and for many, their high school football career comes to an end. We cannot celebrate the positives and the excitement of those who win at the Ralph without recognizing the absolute defeat for those who fall at Highmark Stadium in the championship game. No matter when your high school sports season comes to an end, it is a gut punch and a quick realization for some that their lives as they know it has come to an end. Those that have played football since the Little Loop days, the Pop Warner days, that play their final game in pads with their brothers. The Bennett Tigers have not played their final game just yet. They move on to the Far West Regional next week to take on the winner of Penfield and Pittsburgh. And that's Saturday at 6 p.m. at All High Stadium. Well, let's look back at yesterday. It was Class D that led us off. The Newfane Panthers beat the Wilson Lakemen, as it was Wilson's defense that stood out to stop Matt Capon on the ground in the first half, but the receivers and the running backs for Newfane and Flowers was terrific on the ground all night as the fans celebrated from start to finish from Niagara County. Brock Lepsch made a nice grab at the end of the first half for Wilson to make it a one-score game. Every celebration felt for a lifetime. Chuck Nagel looked on for the Newfane Panthers as the head coach as the Wilson Lakemen drove down the field in the fourth quarter to tie it at 20. The extra point, a miss. Tied at 20, Matt Capon take over time. The 11-0 Newfane Panthers remain undefeated. They defeat Wilson 28-20. Capon, the game-winning score with less than a minute left in the game. The crowd from Niagara County going berserk. It was one of the best games we've seen all weekend at Highmark Stadium. The Lakemen had one final attempt. No good on their final drive, and Capon and company celebrated as Section 6 champions in Class D. Chuck Nagel was so proud of his squad being a Newfane grad, and the Panthers move on. Perfect, the only undefeated team in Section 6 this season as we get a look at the bracket on BTPM PBS in Class D. 28-20, Newfane defeated Wilson in the final. It was a perfect, unblemished record walking into the championship game for Newfane after beating Allegheny Limestone 56-0 in the quarters. And the number one seeded Panthers took down Silver Creek Forestville 38-0 in the semifinal before their gutsy win yesterday for the Class D title. In Class C, it was the undefeated Southwestern Frewsburg team up against the Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton Eagles. Head coach Ty Harper, who just took the job at Chautauqua Lake this year, looking for his third straight sectional championship after coaching CSP to back-to-back titles in the last 2 years. Well, it was his Eagles who out-physicaled Southwestern Frewsburg from start to finish, moving bodies all over. Thandon Bensink got the scoring started last night for Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton. Braden Gibbs, he was fired up on that home sideline. He was hearing chirps all night from the Southwestern Frewsburg faithful. Trent Lewis gave it his all last night for Southwestern Frewsburg, but the Frewsburg senior couldn't handle the defense without his running back Braden Fuller on his hip, or the key defensive linebacker for Southwestern Frewsburg, Zach Markham. He was injured for most of this game last night. Nonetheless, the defense and the defensive line of Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton just terrific as that sack ended the first half. Braden Gibbs connected with his receivers multiple times deep down the field that night. Gibbs certainly silenced all the doubters, and his younger brother Tristan got into the end zone to secure it. 21-0, Chautauqua Lake Westfield Brockton, the win over Southwestern Frewsburg as the Eagles celebrate as champions in Class C for the first time as that combination with Westfield and Brockton. That is a proud Chautauqua Lake squad to win the Class C title. Another look at the bracket in Class C. They had to fight their way with 70 points put up in the quarterfinal against Akron. They clawed their way to a 30-13 win against Barker Royhart on the road in the semifinal. That was the top seed in Class C North this season. And again, 21-0. They defeated Southwestern Frewsburg last night for the Class C championship. In Class A, the nightcap on Thursday saw Kyvon Pitts and the Health Sciences Falcons. Health Sciences Buffalo Academy Science Global against Cardell Staples and the McKinley Max. Well, it was Callan Ford, the quarterback, who found Cardell Staples. What a catch in the back of the end zone. Just got his right toe down, inbounds, unguarded. Touchdown McKinley got things started. The defense, terrific for Brian Davis's Max. The head coach of the Max in his 7th season was so proud of this squad fighting after, again, another team that got handed a loss in the regular season. Health Sciences tried to fight back. Kyvon Pitts, 50-yard touchdown rush, made it a one-score game in the first half. 16-6, the lead for McKinley at halftime. Ford wanted to air it out some more, and some big-time catches. I mean, big-time grabs from the McKinley Max in this game made it a fun one to watch. But the score, not so fun for Health Sciences. 38-14. McKinley defeats the Falcons, ending the reign of Health Sciences in Western New York. They had been undefeated entering that game. McKinley celebrates his Class A champions for the first time in program history. The Max on top. Look at the playoff bracket for Class A, finalized in Section 6 on BTPM's Friday Night Lights. McKinley 38, Health Sciences 14. The final score last night, McKinley had to battle through Clarence and then Grand Island in the semifinal to fight their way to the championship. They wanted the matchup that they got, and boy, did they prove the doubters wrong. 38-14, McKinley defeats Health Sciences. In Class B, before our game today, it was the Lackawanna Steelers who surprised a lot, taking down West Seneca East 44-22 in the Class B championship game. The Lackawanna Steelers came in as the 2 seed from Class B2 against the number 2 seed from Class B1, West Seneca East. It was the Steelers of Lackawanna victorious 44-22 after they upset Williamsville South on the road in the semifinal, and West Seneca East upset Iroquois on the road in the semifinal. Just a terrific bracket in Class B. We saw that Olean-Will South game in the quarterfinal and thought it was a lock that we would see the Billies match up with the Red Hawks of Iroquois in the championship. To no avail, both of them upset in the semis. Lackawanna, West Seneca East. A great game for about a quarter and a half. Lackawanna pulls away 44-22. We will step aside on the Villa Maria College post-game show. Villa Maria College, New York's home for cutting-edge majors and unmatched support as they clear away the debris and trash from the stands in Highmark Stadium. We will step aside and return with one final look at tonight's championship. The Bennett Tigers, victorious for the 5th time in program history on this stadium's turf. Leah Jurek will join me after this on BTPM's Friday Night Lights.
Visit Villa Maria College and discover what it means to be a Viking. Come see the energy, teamwork, and pride that makes the Villa Vikings unstoppable. Schedule your tour at visit.villa.edu.
Listen to Buffalo Toronto Public Media The Bridge wherever you are. Search for the BTPM Listen app on all your devices.
The learning and engagement projects from Buffalo Toronto Public Media impact our community by entertaining and informing.
Families are engaged, adults, grandparents.
They reach students and children.
There's something there for everybody.
They provide educators with material that is up to date, that is informative, and that really ignites curiosity in our students that is so crucial to creating lifelong learners.
Or if it's just a really well done piece of content.
Exactly. They're exciting, they're engaging, and they are so educational.
Wow!
But the thing that is so great is their accessibility. You can have a phone, a desktop computer,
or you find it on your tablet, or you find it on television.
And there they are.
Helping families to do what they want to do for their children and for their future here in Western New York. It makes our community a better and stronger place because of it.
Listen to BTPM Classical wherever you are on the BTPM Listen app. Find it in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.
A well-crafted will or estate plan speaks volumes about your hopes and dreams for the future. It also ensures that what you've worked a lifetime for is distributed according to your wishes. As Buffalo Toronto Public Media looks to our future, we would be honored to share your legacy and ensure that quality public broadcasting is here for future generations. Please contact me, Lisa Latrovato, at 716-845-7031 for more information.
Listen to BTPM NPR wherever you are on the BTPM Listen app. Find it in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.
Brighton Wine and Liquor, located at 930 Brighton Avenue in Tonawanda, features wines from all over the world and expert curators who can help you select the right wine or spirit for your occasion. Brighton Wine and Liquor, 930 Brighton Road in Tonawanda.
The lights shine bright at Highmark Stadium on Friday Night Lights. 32-14, the Bennett Tigers defeat the Jamestown Red and Green in the final high school championship game on this field at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. Hello, friends. Jack Kreuzer with Leah Jurek with you on BTPM's Friday Night Lights. Thanks for sticking with us through the Villa Maria College post-game show. Villa Maria College, advancing educational opportunity for all of Western New York. Leah, you were down on the sideline for tonight's contest. Some great quotes post-game. Jack Eskridge, what a great interview he was.
Amazing.
Now, what was the energy like at the beginning of this game? Obviously, it was a close battle the first time they met. Down on the Jamestown sideline, how were the vibes down there?
Yeah, the vibes were definitely getting lower as the game went on, I would say. A few teammates trying to bring up the energy, you know, shouting, like, not a lot of people get this opportunity, so let's go after it. Let's really utilize it. So I thought that was nice that there were still some people, like, bringing the energy up. But I would definitely say vibes were low.
For the Bennett Tigers on the flip side, obviously vibes pretty high when you win a sectional championship. But over the course of this game, a wave of emotions. Even as you talk to Steve McDuffie going into halftime, he was not a happy camper with the lead.
No, he was not. He he was having a few words with the refs before I got to him. So let's just say I didn't know the nature of that interview, how that was going to go. But yeah, definitely McDuffie's halftime and post-game interview, completely different vibes. But overall, they won, didn't they?
They get the win, and they get to move on to the Far West Regional. I think it's clear that the Bennett Tigers have state championship aspirations. They, even just the way they ran away from the celebration before they got the trophy, they know that it's about state championship or bust for a lot of these seniors. And credit them. They don't lose to a single Section 6 opponent. What's it like watching that Bennett Tiger team down at field level?
They look strong, honestly. They're a solid team. Their sideline is so interesting to be around because everyone's energy's up. Like, they're all constantly bringing each other up. They're all just like good vibes, happy vibes. They're proud of the work because they know they're putting in hard work. Respectfully, I think that they deserve to have that energy because, I mean, you see it for yourself. It's good teamwork.
It's chicken or the egg, right? Do you have the energy first or do you have the victory first?
Right.
Well, they seem to play into each other. Well, Leah, thanks for joining us post-game.
Of course.
This has been such a great season for Friday Night Lights. Thank you for sticking with us. Whether this is your first time watching us tonight or joining us on the radio on BTPM NPR, thank you. And please be sure to stick around as we move into the basketball season, beginning the first Friday night in December when we're at Niagara Falls High School when they host the Will South Billies, defending sectional champion Williamsville South Billies. Should be a fun one on the hardwood. For our entire crew with Friday Night Lights, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all the members of Buffalo Toronto Public Media and all those who have chipped in along the way for making Friday Night Lights possible to highlight these communities, the city of Buffalo and Jamestown represented in our championship game. Couldn't have been a more successful season in my point of view. Thank you, because it's all possible because of members like you. Thanks to Jim Monis and our whole crew. I'm Jack Kreuzer saying I bid you adieu.